We're looking good. Is the news about Breonna Taylor's settlement a reason to celebrate? I say hell no. I'll tell you why. Also, some brutally honest thoughts about the Hamilton County Commissioner's race. I did not moderate it, but I was running the boards behind the scenes. You had L-Dub, Lincoln Ware doing it yesterday. But I did get a chance to sit back and view all of the candidates. And I want to give you my brutally honest thoughts about that particular race. I think here it is 2020, and a lot of people are going to be going out to the polls. I want to give you as much information and as many strong opinions as I can provide. And I'm not saying you should go by what I say. Again, I don't give any endorsements on media, but I want to give you some very strong opinions about it. Plus, there's a smattering of other topics. I'm reading that Cardi B and Offset looks like she's filing for divorce. I've got some brutally honest thoughts about married people and when they should have children. I want to talk about that this morning. And plus, again, a smattering of other things that have been happening that may or may not be on your radar screen. Hey, good morning to you. We're live on Spreaker. We're live on TuneIn. That's for the audio people out there. If you're a video person, we're on YouTube, Nathan Ivey, and also on Facebook, The Nathan Ivey Show. So please subscribe on all those different platforms. I appreciate you. And we'll start in just 1 minute.
You're listening to The Nathan Ivey Show. One man, one microphone, one mission. Now let's get back to the flow.
Hey, good morning, family. Please take a second to like and share today's show, and we'll get things started in just a couple of minutes. As you can see, a couple of things I want to discuss this morning. I want to talk about the big news, Breonna Taylor settlement. If you don't know, I'll give you the details. And my question is this a reason to celebrate? I say hell no. Also, brutally honest thoughts about the Hamilton County Commissioner's race. I did not moderate it last night, but I did get a chance behind the scenes to sit back and really analyze all of the candidates and what they have to say. I won't be giving endorsements, but I will be giving you unfiltered, strong opinions. So if you're that kind of person, get ready for it. Okay, family, let's get things started. Nate Ivey with you. Let me welcome into my home studio. Hey, good morning to you. Come on in. Good to see you. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to my where I do what I do, right? This is not a setup. This is what I do. Those are real books. This is a real home office. Good morning to you. That's a real plants. Real plants. Good morning to you. Shout out to my Virgos. Virgos rule the world. And I am the most superlative Virgo on planet Earth. Beyonce is a close second. I will give her that. She's a close second. Good morning to you. It's the Nathan Ivey Show. I'm live. I'm local. I'm very vocal. You know what I'm saying? If you don't like strong opinions, this is the wrong spot for you. I am the most unfiltered black man in talk radio in the city of Cincinnati, bar none, period. Period. There are no consequences and repercussions for me at this point. I keep it real with you. If you like it, you like it. You don't like it, we'll holler at you on the next conversation. Maybe we can agree on that. But I am a nice guy. I'm a very nice guy. I definitely, the currency of this show is your opinion, not necessarily my opinion. It's your opinion. Hold on here. I'm getting more text messages. It is your opinion, not my opinion. I want to give you some brutally honest thoughts about things that happen in the world. My focus is people, politics, and pleasure. It's always been that. In particular, black people, black politics, and black pleasure. That's my wheelhouse. That's what I do. Good morning. For folks who might be listening around the country, perhaps around the globe, on YouTube, good morning to you. I'm broadcasting live from beautiful Cincinnati, Ohio. All right. If you want to share your thoughts this morning, you can do so by placing a call to 513-873-7134. It's a free call anywhere in the country and some parts of the world. If you have any issues, hit me up and I'll see what I can do to make that free for you. All right. There is one maxim. That's a rule for the show. Would you like to know what it is? Open your mind before you open your mouth. Other than that, it's all good. It's all good. We can agree to disagree. I don't care about being wrong. I'm just trying to get to the bottom of these issues. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. If I'm right, I'm right. I don't care if you're right. I'm just in it for the conversation this morning. You've got me for the next 2 hours. I'll be with you until approximately 9:30 a.m. this morning. And then I got to make a move. I got a son in virtual learning. There's a lot of things going on. All right. Appreciate you. I'm juggling a lot right now. Appreciate you. Of course, the show is powered by Sin Digital Media. That's a startup media company that produces live stream shows and podcasts. And we have a presence on Facebook. You can check us over there and check out some of our other podcasts and more to come. Good morning to you. What's up, choppers? What's up, fam? Everybody doing well? Good. I want to talk about the Hamilton County Commissioner's race from just yesterday. Okay, let me put this back on the screen. This is today's cover art. Bottom right-hand corner there. It was, of course, sponsored by the Cincinnati NAACP. Shout out to them. And the Prince Hall Masons. And they do these events in an effort to educate the public. Straight up. That's it. They want to educate the public. They're nonpartisan and not taking sides. It is what it is. If you show up, you show up. You don't. What you say, only you can be held responsible for. It comes out of your mouth. And last night, the focus was the Hamilton County Commissioner's race. Now, if you don't know, there are 3 Hamilton County Commissioners. Okay, this is the space, the spot that was occupied by Todd Portune, who passed away while in office. And currently, you have 2 females, and both of them are Democrats in the Hamilton County Commissioner spot already. So this third spot is very, very interesting, very important. And last night, you had Andy Black, you had Alicia Reese, And you had Dr. Herman Najoli. Dr. Herman Najoli. Andy Black, white male Republican. Alicia Reese, black female Democrat. And Dr. Herman Najoli, black male independent. They were on the screen last night. I want to know what you thought about them. Let me give you some brutally honest thoughts, because we don't have time to play games. Let me give you some brutally honest thoughts. And again, I'm not endorsing anybody. I'm media, okay? My brutally honest thoughts about it last night as I got a chance to observe. And of course, like anybody else, and probably more so than maybe your average Joe, I'm watching all of the races. I think Hamilton County Commission is huge. It means a whole lot. It means everything. Every single race will have a big impact as we move forward. Every single race. Every single race. And, we need people to be in these elected positions that not only have demonstrated the resume, but also have the right mentality for the times that we live in. Okay. Because not everybody is right for every position. And you might be right, but you're not the right person right now. You feel me, family? You understand what I'm saying? So I want to give you some straight up, no chaser thoughts about last night's and my impression of the various candidates. Okay. And it goes something like this. If I were grading the performance, and let me just kind of define what I mean by performance. If I was grading the performance of the three candidates last night, here are my grades. But first, let me define what I mean by performance. By performance, I mean candidates who are able to verbalize, because you can't really demonstrate too much, but verbalize their resume, their experience, and their vision, right, for the county last night. Okay. Just based upon that, if I had to grade them 1, 2, and 3, in my humble opinion, it would be 1, Alicia Reese. It would be 2, Dr. Herman Najoli, and it would be 3, Andy Black. Now, y'all may be saying like, damn, Nate, who's surprised? White male Republican, you graded him 3rd. Well, I mean, it has nothing to do with his race and his party. It's about my perception of what he demonstrated or what he conveyed last night. Straight up on that. It's my impression of last night. And in my impression last night, there was one candidate that verbalized her experience, that verbalized, what she's already done, and then how that will translate into becoming a Hamilton County commissioner. And to be honest with you, in my humble opinion, it wasn't even close. It wasn't even close, in my opinion. Like if I stepping outside of myself, and I do have the ability to do that, if I was looking at this objectively and I didn't know anything about these candidates and I was watching that for the first time trying to make a decision, I would grade it Alicia Reese 1. I would grade it Herman Najoli 2. And I'd grade Andy Black 3. Let me tell you why I grade Herman Najoli 2. Because I don't really know a lot about this brother. And he doesn't really have a lot of experience. Last night he was talking about how he was able to, get a lot of signatures, which ain't impressing nobody. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be straight up with you, Dr. Najoli. I'm not impressed by that whatsoever, but he seemed to be. And I think he was hanging his hat on that because there's not a lot of other, sort of accomplishments that he can really call upon. So, it is what it is. But one thing that I did like about him was what he verbalized as his vision, the way he looked at leadership. He said a couple things last night during that exchange that kind of caught my attention in terms of it let me know that as a leader, that he might be a servant leader, that gave me the impression, should I say, from what he verbalized last night, that he understands that, being a leader is more than just your ego and some talking points. For Andy Black, let me talk about Andy Black. I get it. Like when you run for political office, if you don't have any experience working as an elected official, then you want to talk about and draw upon whatever experience that you have. And we see this over and over again with a lot of these political types, like maybe they're an entrepreneur or they started a small business or something like that, and they've been successful, or, maybe they worked at P&G, some big time corporation, had some big time fancy title and had a lot of people that reported to them or something like that. And I get it. You should talk about your most relevant experience, but I'm just not so sure. I don't believe, should I say, that just because you were an entrepreneur, that automatically translates into you knowing how to, day one, hit the ground running as a Hamilton County commissioner. I just don't believe that. I don't believe that. I'm not saying that there aren't some relevant experiences that you could bring to the job, but I don't think that prepares you to hit the ground running day one as a Hamilton County commissioner. I think in these days and times, in that particular position, that's what we're looking for. Just some things that stood out to me. In terms of Alicia Reese, as she talked about what she's done, it was quite interesting. There was a couple times in which the candidates were like giving her compliments and didn't even mean to, because they were complimenting things that are put in place that she had a hand in. And I thought that's very, very interesting. Again, if I was looking at it as a black voter in Hamilton County in particular, because it was the NAACP Prince Hall Masons, town hall forum. So, on the surface, the population, the audience is going to be black voters. Makes sense. As a black voter, when I heard Alicia Reese kind of running down her resume, from what I understand about it, and I'm no expert on anybody's resume other than my own, it all rang true to me. Of the three candidates, I think there's one who has a proven track record as an elected official in terms of bringing home the bacon, in terms of having experiences creating and managing and developing multiple projects and policies that actually have been put in place, right? And I'm just saying, it ain't even close. It wasn't even close to me in terms of that. Now, I'm not talking about how I personally feel. I'm giving you my impression of what the candidates conveyed last night, okay? In terms of what they conveyed, it could be that, Andy Black has more to his resume. He just didn't convey it last night. It could be that Dr. Herman Najoli has more, but he just didn't convey it last night. In terms of what was conveyed to me, I'm giving you my straight, no chaser opinion about it. You could take it, like it, love it, dump it. Makes no difference to me. It is what it is. What's your thoughts? I'm much more interested in your thoughts rather than my own. I know how I feel, but I want to know how you feel. That's what I'm interested in. Alicia Reese says something in her closing. And you know what? Here's the other thing I would say. And I would say this to Herman Najoli. I would say this to anyone who's running for elected office. Okay. If you're running for elected office and you're doing a virtual town hall, then damn it, you should have your campaign poster behind you in the back wall. That's politics 101. You should have a banner right behind you. If I was running for office, it would be Nathan for Cincinnati right behind me. That's free. That's free. It conveys it. Last night, I saw that with Alicia Reese, smart. I saw that with Andy Black, smart. Herman Najoli, maybe not so smart on that one. You know what I'm saying? I've seen this as I've been doing these forums. I mean, that's basic. You know what I'm saying? Here you are in a digital world, in a virtual setting where maybe you're not out there canvassing in person and things are different. We're not doing town halls in persons. That's free. That's free. That's the least that you can do. You should have some campaign lit, a campaign banner, whatever your yard sign is. Take that sucker, tape it on the wall behind you so that we know who you are. And it's just another way of you branding yourself. It's just politics 101. Okay, I'm not hating on Herman Najoli. I'm trying to help you and other politicians who are in this digital space. That's just basic. It's basic, damn it, basic. You know what I'm saying? Tape that, baby. Tape it, literally. Get you some duct tape, literally, and you can tape it on the wall right behind you. Simple as that. Everybody knows who you are. They see your branding. They can connect the face to the branding. And next time they see a yard sign, humans work that way. It's just smart politics. And he ain't the only one. I've seen others who don't do that. I'm thinking, why are they not taking advantage of this huge opportunity to brand yourself? You better do that. Good morning, everybody. I see a lot of folks inside the Chop Shop. I'll get to your comments in just a second. I want to make sure I get my thoughts out real quick to set the table about last night's Hamilton County Commissioners Town Hall Forum. There was a question last night about Black Lives Matter. And I'll say this again, because I know there was some chatter about that question coming up in the past. I was reading some of the comments. Personally, in Hamilton County and around the country, every elected official, I don't give a damn whether people think it's directly related to the job or not, should be asked what they think and what their understanding of the Black Lives Matter movement is. That is a very important question. Why? It's important, not so much because of that particular job and it's the ability to have an impact on what we or you think Black Lives Matter is trying to accomplish. That's not why it's important. It's important because it's a hot button issue. Like right now, Black Lives Matter is the most prominent, political movement, right? At least on the surface for the promotion of Black people, right? And people try to water it down and say it's just about the police. It's about that, but I think it has that larger meaning as well. And there's so much disinformation, misinformation, and propaganda about it. The Republican Party, the Democrat Party, politicians are using it in different ways, in different races, in different parts around the country. So asking that question gives us insight into the mentality and the greater understanding of the candidates, right? Because there's a whole bunch of ways of answering that. There's a whole bunch of ways of answering. Black candidates should be asked that question. White candidates should be asked that question. Straight candidates should be asked that question. Bisexual candidates should be asked that question. Democrats, Republicans, independents should all be asked that question. So we can just sit back and see how they respond. Real simple. Real simple. What's their mentality? And I thought that Andy Black was weak on that particular question. See, that question is an opportunity. And either you take the opportunity and run with it and hit a home run, because really it's a T-ball question, or you just swing and you miss. And I just felt like, and again, I don't know if it's because he's a white guy, he's a Republican, or I don't know if he's got a lot of Black friends or not, which is always interesting when candidates say that. It's always interesting. But if you just pay attention to how they answer that question and how they connect the dots to, how they're going to do what they're going to do, I think it can yield a lot of information about them, in my humble opinion. You might disagree. It is what it is. I am not too concerned. I'm just giving you my thoughts, okay? What else? What else last night? I thought it was interesting the way it started because Alicia Reese came out feisty. She came out like, hey, Andy, you was on radio today talking some ish about how I'm scared to debate you in a forum. I'm going to let you know, B, off the top. I ain't scared of nobody. We can debate in forum anytime, anywhere. We're going to do it right here. It is what it is, which I think is interesting. Living in Cincinnati, it is two Cincinnati's in a lot of ways, especially in terms of our media. You got white male dominated media, and then you got, a few Black outlets. Okay. That's the reason why we need independent Black media like Sin Digital Media, like the Nathan Ivey Show in this particular market to give you that different viewpoint. But it's always interesting when people go down the dial and say one thing, and then when they come before Black folks or a more diverse audience, it kind of changes a little bit, which is always interesting. I thought it started off very aggressively. But again, overall, just to circle back around, if I had to grade it, I would grade it Alicia Reese, 1, Robert Najoli, 2. And again, the reason why I told you earlier, I just felt like while he doesn't have the resume and experience in terms of the way that he articulated leadership, I can agree with. He said some things about leadership and the way he views being a leader, which I agree with. I think it should be looked at that point. He said some things about diversity I thought were 100% spot on. I'm going to circle around and see if I can get Andy Black on the show. We'll see. Alicia Reese and also Dr. Herman Najoli. Alicia Reese has been on the show. She's willing to come back on the show again. And I'm looking forward to that. But I want to talk to Andy Black and just dig this just a little deeper to see if there's any substance there. It's got to be more than just some issue about the Bengals. And again, when we're talking about negotiating, big time contracts, I don't know about you, but in these days and times, I would prefer to have somebody who's already negotiated these kind of contracts, who's already been at the table, who's already brought home the bacon, who's already demonstrated, the ability to get ish done, rather than somebody who's going to have to get into the office and figure it out and let me look at the numbers and tell you and all. I just feel like we need somebody that's been there, done there, especially when it comes to Hamilton County, especially when it comes to the Bengals deal. You tell me, quite honestly, straight up, straight no chaser, brutally honest, straight up. Who would you rather have at the table renegotiating a Bengals deal? Dr. Herman Najoli, Herman Black, or Alicia Reese? Keep it real. Keep it 100 with me. It ain't even close. It ain't even close. And I'm just talking about resume, not personality. I'm talking about what I understand in terms of what was demonstrated and communicated last night. It ain't even close. Why are we having this race? I thought that a few times last night, but I understand it's a democratic process. We got to do what we got to do. It is what it is. You got a right to run. And I believe there should be, opposition. I don't want to see somebody run unopposed, whether it's Alicia Reese or anybody else. I think that they're in the friction, in the debate, in the forum, it's some good stuff that we, the voters, can get out of it. Some more than others, depending on, your spidey sense. My spider sense is really strong. I'm strong with the force. So I was able to pick up a lot last night. How about you? 513-873-7134. How about you? Let me jump inside the chop shop. We are on Spreaker this morning. Tracy writes, hi. Hey, hi, Tracy. Good morning to you. Ashley writes, good morning, Nathan and the Choppers. Good morning to you, Ashley. Ray writes, grand risings all. Hold on, let me check something real quick. Hell Beckman Jr. writes, I'm disgusted at Breonna's family. That is all. Yes, so Breonna Taylor's family, they reached a settlement with the city of Louisville for $12 million. And I'm not disgusted with the family because they're victims. I'm not disgusted with Breonna Taylor's family one bit. Somebody be like, why are they taking $12 million? That's too low. Well, I can't remember the last time I've seen a double-digit payout for a wrongful death civil lawsuit when a black person was involved. I mean, she got a whole lot more than, and again, we're talking about UC. She got a whole lot more than Sam DuBose, but of course, in that case, it wasn't the city of Cincinnati. It was the University of Cincinnati, my alma mater, by the way. I helped to pay for that. Breonna Taylor's family received $12 million settlement, and it's not just the money. They also got an agreement on some police reforms as well. There are some police reforms, but money and police reforms don't mean a damn thing when you don't have your loved one. As a part of the settlement, the city of Louisville agreed to establish a housing credit program as an incentive for officers to live in the areas they serve, use social workers to provide support on certain police runs, and require commanders to review and approve search warrants before seeking judicial approval. Now, my first thought is, why does it take the death of this black woman for them to do these things? Why do these cities wait to put reforms in place until after somebody dies in their city? If you're a mayor, if you're a mayor of a major city, any city, if you're the leader of a law enforcement department, why not look at what's happened in Louisville and say, should we do that where we are and put it in place before somebody gets killed, before there's 100 days of protest, before there's another dead body? I don't get it. I don't understand it. All right, let me go to the phones. We got Iris Rowley on the phone. Hey, good morning, Sister Iris. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, dear brother. How are you?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
Good. I'm hanging in there as best as well as we all can be. I'm a collective type of sister. So however we are is however I am. So if we are well and the children are well, I'm well. But I wanted to answer some of your questions. I want to start off with the settlement, which isn't done. That's just the civil part, and which is extremely important to follow the process, because that's exactly what we did here in the city of Cincinnati in 2001. You're exactly right. It should not take the death of people to monitor, evaluate, and innovate any system, whether it's the educational system, healthcare system, housing system, transportation system, policing system, any of these systems that serve people. But more importantly, a system where one has the ability to take your life, to detain you, to ruin your life. I was extremely excited to see the settlement include reforms. More times than not, when something like this occurs, we don't see structural reforms happen in settlements. Whether the families don't want to do it or don't have time to do it, whether the attorneys are not sophisticated or smart enough to know to do it, we don't see it occur. So what we had in Cincinnati, what we have is exactly what you're talking about. That's why the collaborative is so important, to stay in front of it, not wait until somebody gets hurt, maimed, killed, and or destroyed before we can change our system. So I was glad to hear Attorney Crump lay it out for folk who don't understand how these things go. To get the settlement for the family, and this is just civil. This isn't criminal. This is the civil part of the case. To get those sweeping reforms without even so much of a deposition, without even so much of a testimony, to not take that family through another day of trauma, to help them begin to see that they didn't lose their child, their baby, their sister, their friend, to not get anything was just it was moving. To hear that they are still pushing to get the attorney general, because this is the third leg of it. The first leg was the civil. The second is the legislative. So you heard that the council is taking up those reforms and making them laws, policies, procedures. And then the third leg of it is the criminal justice system that should be coming down hard on all of the officers right now. But the fourth I want to add to that, dear brother Nathan Ivey, is where the community it comes into play. These things won't stay in place. They won't be in place. You can't expect for somebody else to monitor them, evaluate them, and to keep them up without your assistance, without your voice, without your making sure that your people that you vote for, that are put in charge of these things, have the right eye, have the right sensibility, have the right motivation, have the right amount of knowledge to understand that systematic oppression, racism, supremacy lies within every system. So I was extremely, it kind of just, and I cried every time I watched the press conference, because as you said, it takes death to get to these things. And so somebody lost a life in order to get here. And it was a Black woman, and Black women are losing their lives every day. So I was even more in pain knowing how much suffering Black women are going through right now in this country. We are being harmed. We are being murdered. We are being shot. We are being beat. We are being brutalized. And let me just move forward to the debate last night as a proud member of the NAACP and the local legal redress for our local unit. One, I just want to expose something. What I saw last night was a clear, another systematic issue within the Democratic Party, because Alicia Reese was not endorsed as one of the highest ranking, longest running Democrats in this city. She was not endorsed by the Democratic Party. To watch her be tag team in the primary, and what I witnessed last night, it speaks to me how disconnected the party is right now to Black Lives Mattering in the city of Cincinnati and Hamilton County. And that was a problem, and it's always been a problem for me since she stepped into the race. She has earned the right to be endorsed, and to not be endorsed, as brilliant, as smart, and as courageous as she is, and as long as she has been in her record. And I want to say this with so much love and honor, because at one point in her political career, Sister Reese, the next commissioner of Hamilton County, and the Black United Front did not get along. When we were suing the city for racial profiling, when we were suing the police for police brutality, when we were taking the union to task for both of those issues, she was the vice mayor of the city. So at that time, some of her thoughts and opinions didn't rest well with us. So we had to take her to task. But those issues does not outweigh all of the things that she has done and her ability to be the next Hamilton County Commissioner. What I didn't appreciate last night, Mr. Ivey, if I may add, is that it seemed like they were tag teaming again. And it seems like they tag team. Black women have to work harder, fight harder, scream louder, do twice as much to be recognized, for their work to be seen as what can be done. In her role as vice mayor in the early 2000s, she did what she was supposed to do for the cities and the taxpayers from her eyes. So I saw a couple of things, but I also saw that her record is stellar. It is outstanding. It is to be commended. And for people who color in the boxes when you go to vote, that is what you should be looking at. Not just whether you like them right now, but what has their record displayed to you? Does it resonate with what your issues are? Does it support with who you and your family's beliefs? Will it make your life better? We are struggling every single day of Black lives. As Attorney Crump said yesterday, not only are we dealing with the pandemic of 2020, but we're still dealing with the pandemic of 1619. And so what I heard Ms. Reese say is that when she becomes commissioner in all her power and strength and her might, with all of the expertise and the wisdom and knowledge that she has occurred within the past 20 years, she is going to ensure that Black Lives Matter in that particular role. She is one of our first and longest customers of Rocha Awards Graphics. She is a person that you can call and ask questions about the political apparatus, because I don't get it often. See, I loved her poise and dignity. I loved it because I would have said to Andy Black, interrupt me one more time, one more again, and I'm gonna light you up. Because the disrespect that I've seen from the white male Republicans, and I want to be clear, the white male Republicans that are coming in with that Donald Trump playbook, interruption, distractions, trying to take over, trying to be somebody's super white daddy, is getting on my nerves. And she handled that last night. But we all need to be handling them. That type of approach. And even when you did, I think it was Hoffmeyer and that other guy that's running against AFTAB, I just refuse to say his name. So disrespectful to the process, to all of us. Andy's Black display last night is disrespectful to Black people, not just to Alicia Reese, but to Black people. To be on radio yesterday and not even mention, if you want to hear what I plan to do if I become commissioner, I will be on the NAACP, the oldest civil rights organization in the country, the Prince Hall Masons debate tonight. Check me out. Not to mention that is disrespectful. It says a lot about what he does not care about, which is you and I. I know Dr. Herman the Jolie. I signed his petition, I believe, in 2018 to get on the ballot. I don't think that he's particularly ready. I don't know if he is working in concert with Andy Black, but it appeared at some time in that debate last night that they were on the same team. And I wish that we would not allow parties to use us in that way. I wish that if we're going to have these debates and we're going to have a difference of opinions, let's do that. Let's have difference of perspective. Let's do that. But let's have it in servitude of us to our people. You saw who Andy Black represented. You saw what he brought to the table. You hear him. You hear him go on the far right wing radio and talk in those cold language talks that you hear. It's disrespectful, and it's time out for that. And we have to up our game in this political game. We have to have a strategy. We have to understand what it is that we want collectively. And for those of us who can't get in the collective Black thought game, so we can move our lives forward, so we can begin to ensure that a path of our children and our grandchildren are clear, and that they have that, go on over there and stand to the side. I wish we would have a day of non-supporters of Trump. I just get so frustrated in hearing that. Lastly, dear brother Nate, today in City Hall, your Councilwoman Sunderman is trying to put forth a piece of legislation, and she sort of kind of bullied council yesterday in Law and Public Safety, wanting them to vote that they would never defund police. Now, let me tell you why that's so crazy. One, we know that if cities are in a deficit, sometimes departments have to take a cut. I do believe under Chief Blackwell, he saved the police department $1 million. I think it was in 2016. We might have been in some type of deficit. City, had to cut back. He came back and said, I saved the police department $1 million by doing yang, yang, yang. Right? Is that defunding the police, or is that smart policing? Is moving money from one area of policing to another to ensure that there's fair, equitable treatment for all people. Is that defunding police, or is that smart policing? And so today she's trying to push this piece of legislation through. And this is what I mean when I say it takes you and I to monitor people who are put in office. And she was appointed after Amy Murray left. We have to watch that things that are put in place to protect us, to serve us all, to ensure fairness and transparency and accountability is not removed. And that is what Ms. Sunderman is trying to do today with this silly motion that she's trying to put forward, talking about the defund police movement. So I'm asking us, if you are about this life and you are about monitoring and ensuring that your folk and that your voice and that people who sit in seats and have the power with the pen to, put some divisional, this is division. She's trying to draw a line. If you say, as an individual, you see that you want to move money from the police department to something else to ensure that equity and that transparency, she's saying to the council, say it to the police so that they know that you support them. This is ridiculous. Please make your voice heard today in City Hall. You can join by Zoom, or you can go in person, or you can simply write a letter. These things is what I learned from Sister Reese. These things is what you have to do as a citizen. Mm-hmm. Politics is not a spectator sport. At least we have to pay attention. I applaud you, dear brother, for having that on Send Media Digital. Get it together. It was a little choppy at the beginning, and it's very important that we be able to hear and see from those people who want our vote, who will have control of our tax dollar. That county commissioner race is extremely important, and I hope everyone goes back and they look at not just that one, but the other two that you moderated and the one that you hosted last night on digital media.
Oh, for sure.
It was good stuff.
It was definitely very important. And I appreciate reminding it because that is on my radar screen with Amy Sunderman. But let me go back just to clarify. So when you said the Democrats didn't endorse, you're talking about in the primary because she's got the endorsement now. Is that correct?
Yeah,
right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No, they did not. They did not.
Yeah, but back in the primary.
Which is something we need to take them to task about, the leadership of the party. If you want Black folks to be in this party, respect our politicians who have given their lives in the party, who have made the party better. So, so it's several things for me that I'm looking at all the time. It's not just A or B or C, it's all the way to Z. That I'm checking out, and we should be checking these boxes. And then Alicia Reese deserves our vote for Hamilton County Commissioner. Yes, sir.
And then with Amy Sunderman, I mean, how much support does this motion have on council? I mean, like you said, to me, it seems like she's doing more to reveal herself and align herself with the pro law enforcement crowd more than it's really got a chance to pass. I didn't get a chance to see Law and Public Safety yesterday, but does she have any support among the rest of City Council?
Yeah, she did. Yeah, that's how it made it to council. So it had to make it out of committee to council. So it could have been voted down in committee, but it wasn't.
Okay.
So, yes. So yes, it's going to full council today.
That's interesting.
Yes, it is. But it also speaks to those individuals who filled out an application to be a peace officer, because that's the state title that you and I pay as taxpayers. It sends a message to them that, they matter more than citizens matter. And for me, I will be calling in today, letting Ms. Sunderman know that this is the most ridiculous thing I've heard her say. I think the second most ridiculous thing I've heard her say, and encouraging council to vote no.
Yeah. Hey, thank you so much for the call. I appreciate it. That's Sister Iris.
Thank you, dear brother. I appreciate you.
Yeah. Qualified opinion. I appreciate it. And yes, I know it was a bit choppy last night. Some of these things are out of your control when you got different people with different levels of connection. Not everybody has the same connection or technical savvy. So I wish it was a better experience there at the beginning. But hopefully you were able to hear it and was clear enough for you to get something out of it. because that was the intent. But yeah, Sunderman is on the radar screen. She's been on my radar screen ever since she wrote that op-ed piece where, again, I mean, does she really care about the death and the murders and the pain and the tragedy? Or does she just want to use that to try to prop herself up to be law and order? I mean, she wrote a very disappointing op-ed piece in the Cincinnati Enquirer in which, instead of talking about her solutions on how to address these tragedies, she's running around here trying to make, herself look good and make herself look like she's law and order and protect the police. There's a lot of ways of having that conversation. And when politicians use tragedy to try to prop themselves up to be cool with the police, it makes me very suspicious of them. You know what I'm saying? What did Amy Murray do? I don't know. What is Betsy Sunderman going to do? I don't know. I would have appointed somebody else. This was the best that the Republican Party had to offer. This was the best that the Republican Party had to offer. Like, I remember the Cincinnati Enquirer article in which there was they had black folks as well that put their name into the hat. And this is who Alex Triantafilo chose. But as I understand it, her family has a name in the Republican Party locally. So it's all about nepotism, same old nepotism. But so far, we deserve better from that council seat. And it seems as if this is what Betsy Sunderman has decided to do. This is how she's going to get reelected. She's going to take the law and order route, right? I'm going to be the white Republican that talks about law and order and try to run that same Amy Murray playbook. This is what you got to offer? This is what the local Republican Party has to offer. This is it? They could have did much better. Much better. So, yeah, I'm aware of that. I read about it in the Cincinnati Herald, actually, over the weekend. There was an article about it. And it's just tone deaf. And it's nothing more than posturing when it comes from Amy Murray. That's what I see. It's straight up posturing. She's trying to post herself up like she's queen law and order. And that's her only damn role. You know what I'm saying? But those are at-large seats. You're supposed to represent everybody. So we'll see. I mean, maybe perhaps she will be a part of something that's more positive, in my opinion. I don't know all the ins and outs. I just read an article and maybe read something online about it. And now Sister Iris called in to share her thoughts. What do you think about what she said about the significance of the Breonna Taylor settlement and the fact that there were, some reforms and perhaps some policy that's connected to the settlement? She said that's significant. What's your take? Let me go to the phones and say good morning. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Nathan. How are you doing today?
Let me pot you up. I'm doing great. Doing great. Is this Fame or is this old hell Beckham Jr.?
Michael Snackson.
Michael Snackson. Yeah. Curveball. Got to have a curveball in there. Okay. Michael Snackson. Okay. I only ask because I want to put your name up on the screen. So I want to make sure I address the personality I'm talking to today.
Okay. No, I appreciate that.
Yes.
I'm unthrilled. I'm disappointed in the settlement.
Oh, okay.
For that amount. I understand. I get that. The family wants to move on. But first of all, those reforms to me are perfunctory at their best. The only one that's significant is the drug screening. The rest of that stuff, counseling, most employers offer that anyway. That kind of stuff. So I'm, and for $12 million, I'm just like, you got national outcry. I would have, you've been, I don't know how, maybe that they sound thirsty. You've been living at best. You've been living average at best your whole life. You could wait another year and a half just to make them sweat. I thought
to get more money?
Woefully insignificant. Yep. I thought that was woefully insignificant. For the way this whole thing shook down and the national outcry, you've got celebrities, backing you. Beyonce writing dude, the attorney general. You know what I'm saying? She's probably sitting there thinking like, I could have let you hold $12 million if you'd asked. I'm just saying. To me, it just seems a very insignificant amount for the way the whole thing shook down, from the false warrant to them trying to jam up the dude later, make him say she was a part of the thing. They're smearing her name while she's dead, and they killed her. And you take the whole thing into consideration. That's where I'm at with it. But I want to ask you this. Maybe it's, to use the words of your platform, to use the words of Donnie B, is it just me? Kamala Harris is being sexualized right before our eyes. You see that latest video of her stepping off the jet wearing them like bootleg Timbs?
No, I haven't seen it.
Yeah, like, just the way they close in on her and just kind of focus on her stepping off the jet from that angle. Her rack sitting perfectly. Just she's being sexualized. And it's kind of embarrassing. She's got on tight jeans. If you go on Twitter, it's on there.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. I just pulled it up.
Doing that.
She's being sexualized.
So you see the video? Yes. Right before us. And I mean, it's kind of easy to do with her. I mean, given her dating history. Old dudes and white men. Okay. I mean, what dude was old enough to be her dad she was dealing with? Willie Brown, wasn't he? I
think he's older, yeah. Former, mayor of San Francisco?
Yeah, like way older. Yeah, like way old. Like, she's, I'm just shocked she's allowing herself to do this.
So you're saying, I got the image up right now. She's got on looks like some blue jeans and some Timbs.
Yeah.
So you're saying she's being over-sexualized. What's sexual about this picture?
Yes, look at how she's dressed. Those tight jeans. She's a 50-year-old woman, almost 60. Why are you dressing like that?
Are they supposed to be baggy? They look like they fit to me. They don't seem especially tight.
I just don't understand. I don't know. I'm just saying, I think that she's being sexualized. And just the way the video moves, it's slow kind of.
So there's a video of her stepping off the jet? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Huh.
And that's the second one they've done of her doing that kind of thing. She's allowing herself to be played.
She's allowing herself to be played because she had on some Timbos and some jeans.
Yeah, and she's not gonna play me like that. She's not gonna play us, like that. Like you're okay. You're not urban Kamala. You don't really appeal to urban audiences. You can lose it with the Timbs and the perfectly sitting blouse, so that your rack of lamb sits perfectly. No, you're not gonna play us like that.
Can I be honest with you? I think the comments that you've made have done more to sexualize her than what I actually see in this photograph, to be honest with you.
I couldn't agree less. I've never seen a politician behave like this, a female. Sarah Palin was still wearing ankle-length skirts and dresses when she hit the national scene. That's all I'm saying. But like I said, maybe it's just me. But that's all I got.
I think it's just you. Again, in my opinion, your comments have done more to sexualize her than what I see in this picture. Your comments this morning.
Because I had to put it in those terms so you'll understand.
No, you didn't.
I'm not going to be delicate about this situation. I've never seen a female politician get treated like this. Hillary Rodham Clinton, when she changed her name to Rodham, was wearing pantsuits in '92.
Okay.
I'm telling you, the fix is in. But, hey, you don't see it like that. You're a Democrat. You don't, I understand.
Oh, yeah, that's what it is. Because you think I'm a Democrat. That's why I don't see it that way. You're right. That makes perfect sense.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's all I got. I'll leave Maria Taylor for another day. All right, B.
All right, appreciate it. Take it. That's Michael Snackson. I don't see it. Like, if you're turned on by this, just say you turn on by it. But, I mean, I just see casual wear. She want to be comfortable stepping off the plane. I mean, I don't know what's on her agenda. Maybe she's going on a hike or something. I don't know. Maybe she was going to survey the California wildfire or something. I have no idea. But as I look at this picture, I don't see anything. I mean, you might say she's just a naturally attractive woman. But I don't see anything overtly sexual about it, man. Stay off Twitter, bro. Twitter is messing with your brain. Every time they say something, you run with it, B. Every time they say something, listen, I got to take a move. I got to take a break. I got to make a move. I'll be back shortly. Hope you're having a great morning. It's the Nathan Ivey Show. I'm live. I'm local and I'm vocal. Taking your calls and comments on the other side, okay? This is the last honest place in Cincinnati media. We've set the table, a lot of stuff to discuss within the first hour. You've got me up and coming up until 9:30 a.m. this morning. Then I got to make a move, family. So enjoy the show while we're on this morning. Please, if you like this content, like and share this content on social media. Oh, that's way too loud. If you like this content, please like and share this content. It means everything. We'll be right back.
The Nathan Ivey Show is supported by listeners. Go to www.patreon.com/Nathan Ivey Show and help Nathan keep the show independent.
Bloomberg Black Business Report. I'm Donna Wilson. Despite pleas to nominate more members of underrepresented groups on corporate boards, little progress has been made over the past 5 years. According to a report from Institutional Shareholder Services, the boards of the 3,000 largest publicly traded companies remain mostly white. Underrepresented ethnic and racial groups make up just 12.5% of board directors. That's up from 10% in 2015. Black directors just make up 4% of the total. Canada is making a huge investment in Black businesses. The Canadian government launched a $221 million program to aid their Black businesses recovering from the COVID-19 pandemic. And Oatly, the vegan milk brand backed by Oprah Winfrey, reportedly is considering going public in the first half of next year. Jay-Z is also an investor in the company. That's your Bloomberg Black Business Report. I'm Donna Wilson.
This is Zoe Wesson. What side of history do you want to be on? The right side, or one where Black people continue to be underrepresented in Hamilton County? Now's your chance to end 230 years of exclusion. In Charlie Winburn, we have a man that's received the Cincinnati NAACP President's Award, who fought on the Ohio Civil Rights Commission for 6 years, who received the Baptist Ministers Conference Community Service Award. Charlie Winburn has received the Southern Christian Leader by WDBZ The Buzz as Pastor of the Month. We know Charlie Winburn, and he knows us. He's the right man to put us on the right side of history. On Tuesday, November 3rd, vote for Charlie Winburn for Hamilton County Treasurer.
I am Charlie Winburn, and I'm asking you for your vote on Tuesday, November the 3rd, paid for by friends of Charlie Winburn.
This is Zoe Wesson. There are a few times in life to make history. Hamilton County was founded 230 years ago, but has never elected a Black county treasurer. It's time for change. Elect a proven, trusted, experienced candidate for Hamilton County Treasurer, Charlie Winburn. We know Charlie, and he knows us. Charlie Winburn was the former chairman of the Jobs and Growth Committee on Cincinnati City Council under the Honorable Democrat Mayor Mark Mallory. Winburn led the fight to keep 2,000 U.S. postal jobs in Cincinnati. He also fought for wage increases for thousands of city employees, especially our sanitation workers. Charlie Winburn will safeguard more than $1.4 billion in real estate taxes and will increase new home ownership and new jobs. On Tuesday, November 3rd, vote Charlie Winburn for Hamilton County Treasurer. Let's make history together.
I am Charlie Winburn, and I'm asking you for your vote, paid for by friends of Charlie Winburn.
You're listening to the Nathan Ivey Show. One man, one microphone, one mission. Now let's get back to the flow.
Turning out it's not just old people, Bob, but just today and yesterday, some startling facts came out. It's not just older
exactly.
young people, to plenty of young people.
So
what's going on
give me a moment of talking to somebody, going through this with Fauci or somebody who kind of it caused a pivot in your mind, because it's clear just from what's on the public record that you went through a pivot on this to, oh my God, the gravity is almost inexplicable and unexplainable.
Well, I think, Bob, really, to be honest with you,
sure, I want you to.
I wanted to always play it down. I still like playing it down.
Yes,
because I don't want to create a panic.
You know, I thought about that. Donald Trump claims that the reason why he was lying about COVID is because he wanted to play it down. He didn't want to create a panic. But this man is Mr. Panic. He's Mr. Division. Creating a panic when it came to the southern border. Remember this? Oh, the caravan. Oh, the migrant caravan. They're going to rape your children and steal your jobs and take your land. Oh, we got to have a wall on the southern border. Oh, the border is weak, y'all. We got a crisis at the border. He's Mr. Panic. When it fits his narrative, when it fits what his goals are. But when he gets caught lying, all of a sudden, I didn't want to create a panic. And these Republican surrogates and media surrogates are running around, kissing the ring. It's hilarious. I want to take a second to remind you, on Friday, the Is It Just Me podcast, Donnie will be talking with Amber Smith, who's the deputy director of the voter protection for the Ohio Democrat Party. That's at 12:30 p.m. Send Digital Media, the Is It Just Me podcast group and podcast. Check out the conversation. And don't forget the Dope Chicks on Sunday at 1 p.m. More podcasts and live streams to come. I'll let you know shortly. Good morning to you. Yeah, I don't want to create a panic. You always talking about panicking people. He's Mr. Panic when it suits his narrative. Oh, they're in the streets. Oh, these liberal thugs are trying to cause anarchy and steal your home in the streets. But then when it comes to something that's serious like COVID-19, you didn't want to create a panic. Man, stop. Knock it off, Buster. We ain't believing it. Hey, good morning to you. 513-873-7134. I'm inside the Chop Shop. Sharp Rice, good morning, Nathan Choppers. Pat Rice, good morning. Ray Rice, oh man, I totally forgot about the forum. It's up on the Facebook page, the NAACP's page. Cassandra Rice, good morning, Choppers. Pamela Rice, good morning, Nathan Choppers. Good morning, everybody. Chuck 321 Rice up. Brenda Rice, happy Wednesday. Fox Rice, rise and shine, young stars. Renee Rice, good morning. Miss Tiffany Rice, morning all. Miss D Rice, greetings. Tanika Rice, good morning, Nathan Choppers. Sister Iris, who we heard from earlier in the show, she called in. Rice, good morning, great people. Oh, hell, Beckham Jr. Rice. Oh, how old were you when you realized that fried chicken and fried eggs are the same food at different stages? I don't know, man. Ray Rice, regardless, all the other settlements, families should demand the removal of the NDAs. That's ultimately still allowing these people to not be transparent. Mike Jones Rice, good morning. Alicia Reese bodies them fools last night. You could tell she knew what she was talking about. Hey, Cam's in the house. He writes, good morning, Nathan and the Choppers. Ray writes, who brought out their winter clothes? It is chilly. I love this time of year. This is one of my most favorite times of the year, like summer into the fall in Cincinnati. I love it. I love it. I'm built for it. You know what I'm saying? That's why you got to have a beard. I'll say it again. Get yourself a beard, black man. All these baby face, baby smooth black men, I don't trust you. You don't got no facial hair on your face at all. I don't trust you. You up to something. You're suspicious. You suspect to me. Tracy Rice, hi to Pam. You can't do much branding running on a $3,000 budget. Herman made that clear more than once. Yeah, I mean, that was TMI. I don't care how much money you have. I mean, it doesn't impress me that that can either work for you or work against you. So like if you stretch that $3,000 and you get major visibility and you say, man, all I got is $3,000. People will be like, wow, you really know how to stretch $3,000. But if you only got $3,000 and we don't really hear you, and we don't really hear you, and we don't really hear from you, hold on a second, I might have to take a little break. And we don't really hear from you or nothing like that, then people are looking at you like, you couldn't raise $3,000. You must not have a lot of support. Thank you, wifey. Appreciate it. Yes. It's great to be me. Let's put it that way. So yeah, I mean, to me, I felt like it was TMI. I don't want to hear about how you only got $3,000. I'm not really impressed by it. It doesn't really mean anything to me. It just makes me feel like either you are not good at fundraising. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that can play either way. TMI to Dr. Herman Najoli on that one. Just keep that to yourself. You know what I'm saying? Said you can't do much branding. Tracy writes, hashtag vote Alicia Reese. She is the only choice. I'll just say from last night's forum, hey, thank you, man. Appreciate you. Thank you. Oh, man, that's my boy right there. Yes. Is he okay? Sound like he fell. Yes, it pays to be me. It's good to be Nathan. Trust me. Yeah, so, I mean, back to your question, your comment, I mean, if I'm just looking at last night's performance, taking out like everything I know coming into it, I mean, to me, it's very, very clear. It's very, very clear. Like Andy Black is a one-trick pony. Like the only real thing he's talking about is the bingo deal. And it's like, is he really going to go down there and really create some new deal? Like, do I really see him doing that? And yet he's got no experience and no track record of working in these kind of areas before. Herman Ajoli seems like a nice guy who I think has the right mentality and a good spirit. But does he really, of the three of them, who can you really see at the table sitting down with all of the major, players to renegotiate a Bengals deal? Who do you really see walking out of there and really delivering the bacon for the people of Hamilton County? I mean, let's be honest. Just take that little part right there. Really, you really see Dr. Herman Ajoli doing that? You really see Andy Black doing that? Nah, I don't really see it. I don't really see it at all. I'm sorry. Just being real with you. But I appreciate and respect the fact that they're running. I mean, we need different voices and different people to step up. And hey, listen, just because you don't have experience as an elected official doesn't mean that once you become an elected official, you won't do a great job. It doesn't mean that. It's good to be me. Cam writes, no, the Breonna Taylor settlement is nothing to celebrate. The financing of law enforcement breaking the law by committing murder on so-called black people has become the normal disguised by monetary settlements. Now the officers that committed the crime will walk due to the $12 million price tag attached to the crime. For me, in terms of dollar amounts, and correct me if I'm wrong, but to me, it seems rare that in a situation like this, where it's like a civil lawsuit, wrongful death, involved with the city and police officers and law enforcement and black folks, that you get a double-digit payout. That seems rare to me. Matter of fact, I got a clip right here. This is from CNN last night. Ben Crump was on ABC News. I may play just a little bit of this. I want to make sure I don't come into any copyright infringements, any kind of tags on Facebook and or YouTube. It has happened. They are serious about it. Trust me on that. Kush writes, good morning, Nathan Choppers. Be great today. Absolutely. Ray writes, as I've said for decades, black women is the earth. Without us, nothing else exists. I agree. Mason Muller writes, morning, Nathan Choppers. Ray writes, Bessie Sunderman is also on the list. She is a threat to the community of color and poor people. I'm just not, so far what I see from her, I ain't impressed. And it says something about the local Hamilton County Republican Party, right? That when they get an opportunity to appoint somebody after Amy Murray, who in my opinion, what did she do? What did she do? I mean, you had some dudes running around here lusting after her like she was some kind of, I don't know what they was talking about, right? I heard these little ramblings and see things on Twitter. I'm like, okay, really? But what did she actually accomplish? I don't know. I'm sure it's a long list of stuff. I just don't know. And what is Bessie Sunderman actually going to do? And this is your strategy. Here you are like a year and a month out, 2 months out of being elected, because she's going to have to run if she wants to be reelected. And already we can see what she's trying to do. She's the voice of reason, and she's going to protect you from the Democrat majority, and she's super pro law enforcement. I mean, really, this is all you got to offer? That's it? Disappointing so far. Extremely. Mason Muller writes, did you say Sunderman or Smitherman? I'm just saying. See, there you go. Mason Muller writes, what the F? This guy is weird. Speaking of what? Was that Michael Snackson? Yeah, he was out there a little bit. Ray writes, my suggestion to Mrs. Harris was, since everyone has their eyes on her feet, why not showcase black designers' footwear? Chuck T and the designer of Tim's are already well renowned. Hashtag buy black. I like that. I don't know. Is that what people talking about on Twitter? I mean, the fact that how she looked when she stepped off the plane. Sorry, I was watching a little bit of the Clippers lose last night. Yeah, where you at now? All these people on TV running around talking about the Clippers front runners. The Clippers. They got clipped last night. Kawhi Leonard's the best in the NBA. Yeah, sure he is. Yeah, I see it. Paul George, that's the best team in LA. Yeah, I see it. Doc Rivers, best coach. Yeah, I see it. He can't win ish without Kevin Garnett. To my sports people out there, I didn't watch the game last night. I watched the clips this morning as I was preparing for the show real early. I was up like 4:30. Watched the clips like, oh, word. They lost and got smashed. They didn't just lose. They got smashed down by 20. And this was supposed to be the so-called best team in LA. Yeah, okay. I told you what was going to happen with the bubble. It's an unusual experience. People are out of their normal, wheelhouse. There is no home field advantage. I'm not surprised that we see surprises in terms of who's going to be in the conference finals. The Bucks got swept. How the hell? We living in a time of crazy when you got a man who it looks like is going to be the 2-time back-to-back MVP and can barely make a jump shot. Giannis, how are you the MVP and you can't make mid-range jump shots? Stupid. Makes no sense whatsoever. And everybody was lining up to hate on LeBron. He's too old. He's washed. It's not going to happen. Clippers. And the Clippers got beat by the Denver Nuggets. Matter of fact, they didn't just get beat, family. They were up 3-1. One more game to win and couldn't even close the deal. That don't sound like the greatest player of all time to me, Kawhi Leonard. All you Clipper fans jumped off the bandwagon. Oh, I got a new team now. Where you at? Hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. I'm on Facebook. Samantha's on YouTube. She writes, good morning, all. Brandy writes, good morning. My good buddy's drop calling with some more misinformation. He's going to be mad at me. Hey, Brandy, good morning. What's up to you? How are you doing? Hope you're doing well on a beautiful hump day. My good buddy Drop is here. Drop, hold on one second. Dale writes, good morning, Nate, and the Choppers. Brian Taylor writes, good morning, Chop Nation. Hey, good to see you, B. Barry writes, good morning. Good to see you, B. Deborah writes, good morning, Nate, and the Choppers. Good morning to you. Florida Family writes, good morning, Mr. Ivy. Great show. Hey, what's up, Florida Family? Welcome. The Lamido writes, hello, family. Good morning to you. Dante writes, get to the Choppers. Get to the Choppers. David writes, good morning, and the Nate and the Choppers, with a lot of S's. David writes, this is a no Gilligan zone. That means no slop turds dropping nonsense. Speaking of which, let's go straight to the phones and welcome in Drop. Good morning, Drop. Welcome to the show, man. You got fans.
Good morning, Mr. Ivey. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing great. Welcome.
Thank you for having me. And I'm not even going to talk about my so-called fame because Glenn from Mason might get upset. And yes, I was trolling Glenn from Mason last night. He was on somebody's show, local Cincinnati, and he was talking about the enthusiasm gap that exists in the Democrat Party. And I think you know what I'm talking about, right, Mr. Ivey?
No.
The enthusiasm gap in the Democrat Party.
No, I don't.
Okay. Well, Mr. Ivey, we have...
Democrats are enthusiastically waiting to get rid of Donald Trump. That's what I see.
Okay. Yeah, you may see that, but amongst your circle of people that you see on a regular basis who are involved in politics, you mentioned it a couple of days ago or last week that the enthusiasm is not there because, like you said, black people need something to vote for. And the desperate Democrats, unfortunately, just threw anybody in front of the Democrat voters and just expected them to shut up and vote. And it looks like that exactly was their plan. Because, Mr. Ivey, my brother, Fame Rothstein, shout out to the Alt Middle and all their affiliates, the point he brought up about Kamala Harris does have some validity to it, because the attire she was in did not look that of a traditional female politician. And that's all I'll say about her attire. But Mr. Ivey, did you notice the airplane that she was exiting?
No.
Did you know? Well, Mr. Ivey, that is the Democrats' campaign airplane.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you've never seen it in the media, an image of it, like the image that I was showing you the other day of Donald Trump flying in on Air Force One at the airport hangar in front of thousands of screaming supporters. The Democrats don't have that. They never planned on doing it, Mr. Ivey. From day one, when Joe Biden was anointed as the candidate to go against Donald Trump, the Democrat Party, their strategy was to ride the coronavirus and how Donald Trump handled the coronavirus. Because it's easy to be Monday morning quarterback. It's very easy. It's just like me saying, if your show would have started today at, let's say, 6 a.m., maybe 5 more people would have survived in rush hour traffic. Nobody knows who would have died or not died if you would have started your show an hour earlier. Nobody knows. So the Democrats had the strategy to ride the coronavirus, keep sleepy, hiding Biden, basement Biden, keep his old creepy butt in the basement and ride this thing out, hoping that Donald Trump is going to give interviews to Bob Woodward, book excerpts are going to come out, disgruntled relatives who mad because they didn't get a certain amount of inheritance coming out.
The Democrats have no control over that.
What?
I said the Democrats have no control over that.
Yes, they do, Mr. Ivey.
How do the Democrats control Donald Trump's niece writing a book?
Whose shows do she appear on, Mr. Ivey?
That's not the question I asked you.
Yes, that is the question.
No,
because we know the media has sides. The media has chosen sides, Mr. Ivey. We all know.
So now you want to switch the conversation. Okay. Again, I'll ask you for clarity.
Oh, I switched
how can the Democrat Party control that Donald Trump's niece, wrote a book? How do they control that?
Because they give her the access. Without access, no one would read the book.
What access?
No one would even know what's in the book.
She's writing about her life experiences as his relative. The Democrats don't have any access or control over that. What are you talking about?
Mr. Ivey, are you sitting here telling me that political parties don't pay people to write books?
I'm sitting here telling you, do you have some direct evidence? If you do, put it on the table. I'm sitting here I'm questioning to you. I'm asking you, how does the Democrat Party have control over Donald Trump's niece writing a tell-all book about her experiences growing up in the Trump family? What control do they have over that?
I just told you, it's called cash rules everything around me. Mr. Ivey, people get paid off all the time.
What cash?
To write books, to present opposition research against political.
What cash? Now you're speculating wildly to try to make a point, but you don't have any real evidence, do you?
Okay, I keep giving you the answer. If you don't like my answer, stop asking the questions, Mr. Ivey.
No, I'm probing deeper and giving you a chance to explain yourself, because right now it's not making a lot of sense.
Okay, just like Fame Rothstein gave you his point of view based on his life experiences and his knowledge of politics, he gave a reasonable opinion about Kamala Harris's attire.
I don't think it was reasonable at all.
I'm giving you my opinion on political strategy.
Okay, this is your opinion. There's no facts. Okay, I want to make sure we clarify that. That was my point in questioning you. Okay. There's no real fact. This is just your opinion that somehow the Democrats controlled Trump's niece and made her and helped her put out a book. But there's no real facts behind it. Okay. I just want to make sure we know.
Well, of course, Mr. Ivey, perception is not always reality. Perception is not always reality, sir. And especially when we talk about politics. Now, back to what I was saying. about how the Democrats from day one, when Joe Biden got the nomination, their strategy was to keep him in quarantine, so to speak, because they knew his opponent, Donald Trump, would campaign against himself, along with the help of the willing accomplice in the mainstream media, Joe Biden. And the Democrat Party didn't have to buy a campaign airplane, didn't have to buy a campaign bus. You don't see none of that, Mr. Ivey.
Why is that
Their
important?
whole strategy was to keep him in the basement. And now they look horrible, Mr. Ivey. Politics is about optics. We got less than 50 days to go.
Right.
And you see Donald Trump, the incumbent, and that's why incumbents are so hard to defeat, because yesterday he signed a Middle East peace deal. Peace in the Middle East. That it gets hardly no coverage.
It gets crazy coverage. I see it everywhere.
But is it part of your headline in your show, Mr. Ivey?
No, I chose not to talk about it, but there's a billion things that I choose not to talk about that get headlines. That's that's all a part of the Republican media surrogate talking points. When Donald Trump does something good, it doesn't get reported. Okay. Where's the mainstream media? And then my thing is, how did you know about it if it doesn't get reported?
Because Mr. Ivey, I'm retired. I ain't got no job, and I love politics. I love talk radio.
And you go online and you see it reported.
Mr. Ivey, this is what I do. I love YouTube. I'm getting used to seeing you on YouTube. Your skills are advancing. You are progressing. Mm-hmm. This could be your medium. This could be your place, Mr. Ivey.
Could be.
This could be it. It could be the visual.
It could be.
You got the voice. And maybe Mason Mahler can comment on your looks, because he does that with men with balls and all that kind of stuff. So, but again, Mr. Ivey, what I'm talking about, sir, is the fact that the Democrat Party and the DNC campaign, they do not have a campaign plane or a bus. I mean, Mr. Ivey,
and why should I care about that? As a voter, why should I care about that?
Because it's about visuals. What was the visual in Ohio a couple of days ago on 275? On Highway 275. What was the visual?
84 miles of dumb-ish. The visual was people riding around in pickup trucks with blue Lives Matter flags and, you know, the American flag, and also fender benders. I call it 84 miles of dumb shit.
Okay, that's fine. But that was your observation from you seeing that visual. But there are people who are on the Democrat Party team, Mr. Ivey, who are witnessing the visuals that the Donald Trump and the Republican Party Re-elect Campaign Committee are putting out to show the American people that they are enthusiastic and they are ready to go vote for Donald Trump.
Right.
It's almost like, Mr. Ivey, it's almost one more quick thing because I don't want to take up your time. It's almost like when I used to referee high school basketball. It was this big-time high school out here called Modern Day High School. Mr. Ivey, they looked like a college team. When they came out in their red warm-ups with the music and the lights, these other teams, you would just see them just staring. And I would watch it. I'm the referee. I'm waiting to start the game just like the players. And I'm looking at these players, Mr. Ivey. They are amazed at the presentation, the pageantry, the stark image of strength and power that this high school team presented when they went out and played the game. And that's what I'm talking about, the enthusiasm gap that's evident in the Democrat Party. With some of the the headlines that I read yesterday about how
the contradictory headlines you read yesterday. Yeah, I mean, I don't really care about the planes and all that kind of stuff and the pageantry.
Mr. Ivey, I read that first headline for a reason. It made everybody read further. Because when you have a headline that says, the trouble that Joe Biden is having with the black vote and the Latino vote is overstated. That word right there, overstated, tells you that there is an issue. Maybe it's understated, but it's been stated, Mr. Ivey, that there is a problem within the Democrat Party. Now, before I go, have you heard of the Pew Research Center?
Of course.
Okay. They have an article out today. It was done September 10th, and the headline is, Voters' Attitude About Race and Gender Are Even More Divided than in 2016.
Is that right?
Now, Mr. Ivey, yes, I'm just going to read this one quick paragraph. It's about black people and the way they feel about themselves since Donald Trump has been in the White House. And it says that blacks has increased 9 percentage points since 2016. This change has come entirely among supporters of the Democratic candidates. 74% of Biden supporters say it is a lot more difficult to be black than white, while a smaller majority of Clinton supporters, 57%, said this in 2016. Among Trump supporters, there has been virtually no change since 2016. Currently, 9% say it is a lot more difficult to be black than white. 11% said this 4 years ago. So the fact that the Pew Research is doing this type of polling data, the Democrat Party and the Republican Party, they read this data. Now, Mr. Ivey, before I hang up, here's the question I want to pose you and your listeners. Since Donald Trump has been in office, do you feel like being black, just you individually, because obviously you cannot speak for a group of people, just you as an individual, do you feel less of a person these last 3 years, or do you feel more stronger and more energized as a black person? That's all I got, Mr. Ivey. Thank you for taking my time. And yes, I was trolling Glenn from Mason last night, and I made a video. It's on Twitter. Drop Squad 52, dropping science to anybody who wants to catch it. Peace.
Appreciate the call. We don't want to catch it. But to answer your question directly, I mean, for me personally, I don't give a damn who in the White House. I love being black. I love me, period. I don't give a damn who. Satan can be the president. You can dig up General Robert E. Lee and he can be the president. I'm still going to love being me and love being black 100%. I can only speak for myself. But I mean, when you got a president that's soft on white supremacy, when you've got a president that takes every opportunity to downplay the fact that police are over policing and brutalizing non-white people, when you got a president that wants to play racial divisions to his advantage, I'm not surprised that tensions are going to be up. When you got a president that talks like that, I'm not surprised that you're going to have normal, everyday citizens that feel emboldened to get into their white supremacy bag. But as a black man, I don't care who's the president. I don't care what's going on. I love me, love being black. Wouldn't she change it 100%? So Donald Trump is not going to affect how I look at myself. But it wouldn't matter who the president was. I'm going to love me and love being black 1,000%. And I know that's the vast majority of black people out here. But let me go straight to the phones and say good morning. Hey, good morning and welcome to the show.
Good morning, Nathan. It's Alicia Reese. How are you? Good morning.
Hey, Alicia. Hey, good morning. Welcome.
Good morning. And I just was calling to thank everyone that tuned in yesterday to the NAACP Prince Hall Masons forum, and wanted to also thank you. And I know that before I get into some of those issues that we discussed yesterday, I wanted to take a minute for people to kind of soak in what actually happened last night. Now, I've gotten a lot of requests for the three of us to be on different things and appear different places. And what you saw last night is, and I've turned them down except the NAACP and Prince Hall Mason forums, because that's what you all have been doing for years. And I have been all over the county. And in the primary, I did a lot of debates. I did more debates than almost any candidate. We did one with the Enquirer and at the University of Cincinnati, had a whole panel. It was, broadcast. I've been down at the Queen City Club. I've been all over, whether it's from green townships, all over this county, showing up to everything, round tables, debates, etc. But after the pandemic, and I saw that we have a lot of people that need help, I switched gears and we went into helping people. So you saw us doing Meals on Wheels and food banks and Evanston and New Prospect Baptist Church. And it was time to help people. And so that's what we've been focused on. And now with the attacks on voting, we've got to educate, motivate, and activate folks at a time when you see on TV they're picking up the mailboxes, at a time when you see the Secretary of State not being able to have postage on. We don't know if we're going to have multiple drop boxes, all these different things, lawsuits about signatures. As you know, the older you get, some of the senior citizens, their signatures are not the same as it was when they first registered to vote. Or if you, in my case, my mother who had multiple sclerosis, her handwriting, it got real shaky. And today, if she was alive and she would do her signature, her ballot would have been thrown out. So we got a lawsuit trying to fight that. So our focus has to be on voter education during this time of confusion, and to make sure that folks do not get confused. The only way people lose is if we get confused. So I'm focused on helping people not be confused, making sure they're registered. We set our own hotline up. We're making sure that every vote, if we can, is counted. Make sure you know the dates, you know what to do, make sure you vote early. So that's what we're focused on. But what was big last night was that while I have gotten all kind of offers to be on other mediums and do other things, we said no. And so last night is probably the only time you'll see the three of us ever in the same room or what have you, on the same Zoom. And we did it on a black media, Sin Digital Media. And you never have that. Now, there's some people who've done these debates, but they're going to do other stuff. I mean, they've done these forums, they're going to do other stuff. But I said, no, we're going to do one, and the one is going to be the NAACP Prince Hall Masons, where African-American community can finally have questions that you're concerned about. And then we're going to do it on a black platform, owned black media platform, Sin Digital. So while I know we could get into all of the different issues, I don't want us to miss that point. And that's big. That was big last night.
Oh, most certainly.
And you did a great job.
And it's not lost on me, Alicia. It most certainly is. And that's how we change the paradigm, in Hamilton County. It's got to be with actions and just not rhetoric in critical moments where it really matters, just like last night with the forum with the three of you coming together.
Yeah, and it's not, you're not going to see it anywhere else. So they're mad at me. I want to tell you that. They're not happy. My opponent's not happy. I'm getting hit, by other folks about that. But I thought it was critical because everywhere we go, we usually only get one question that may be the black community. Have you ever watched these debates? You watch the presidential debates and other debates, and they never ask the questions as African Americans think about. We might get one question, and it's usually around poverty, or they might ask you, one question about Black Lives Matter now. But outside of that, we're not in the equation. We don't exist. And so I wanted to make sure that issues that affect our community are just as important, and they exist. And what you saw last night, we have a major difference. I'm about people, and you got to have compassion to be about people. And you saw my opponent had no experience with people. I don't care what color you are. It was no compassion about people. It was all about the Bengals stadium and nothing about people. And I'm always concerned when somebody shows up and they don't give a damn about people. That's a problem. And so anyway, I just wanted to thank everyone. People who haven't seen it, I encourage them to go to your platform. I assume it's up on Sin Digital Media and NAACP, and get it out. Get it out. People can hear and see for themselves what transpired last night. We got two candidates we've never seen, and I'm going to say this. This is not just the black community. I'm everywhere. I'm all over this county. I mean, I was in Madeira on Sunday, and they were taking my yard signs. I mean, I'm all over this county. And everywhere I go, Republicans, of course, Democrats, but even Republicans tell me, I've never seen, who is this? They asking me who is this guy, Andy from Indian Hill. People who live in Indian Hill say, who is this Andy guy from Indian Hill? And then the other guy, I mean, nobody, I've never seen him a day in my life. So we got two people we don't know, never seen before, popped up out the toaster and said they want to be in charge. And this is just a critical, tough time right now where people trying to survive and trying to put the pieces back together. And like I said last night, If we're in a state of a 911, and if the ambulance comes and gets me and takes me to the hospital, I'm telling you, don't show up with no interns. I need the best doctor operating on me with the most experience, which gives me a better chance of coming out with a better outcome. So that's what happened last night. I hope that we get it out, because the one thing that they try to do, and they've done this before, when we do something, I looked on Twitter today, is nothing. Every other day, this guy's on Twitter, both of my opponents. They put everything on Twitter. They didn't put the NAACP Prince Hall debate on Twitter. Everything else, this Tea Party group has been after me, who says they want me to debate. Some Tea Party group, right? And they put all of that up. They put all of that up. My opponent, he went on radio yesterday, knowing the NAACP Prince Hall event was happening. He went on radio saying, "Oh, she'll never sit in a room with me. She'll never take me on. She'll never do this." And then advertised it, but never advertised the NAACP or Prince Hall event. And now I'm on Twitter today. It's nothing. It's cricket. So we got to be smarter. We got to get it out. It can't be one night thing or 1 hour thing. Get it out, replay it, redo it, send it out, share it, watch parties, get it out. Because what he's saying is that our media don't matter, right? And we got to say, wait a minute, our media does matter. So hope that people will watch it, hope people get it out. And if anybody has ever questioned, because his people put out, Alicia Reese is scared of Andy Black. I wanted to laugh, but I got the chance to tell him it went face to face, I guess Zoom to Zoom, directly to him. I would never be afraid of Andy Black from Indian Hill. That's how we kick off the NAACP Prince Hall debate. So if you didn't see the beginning, go back and see the beginning. But the most important thing, what I'm doing right now, I want to say this really clearly. The only way we win is if we get people out to vote. We're moving now from Twitter fingers to voting fingers. We're moving now from Zooming to moving to the Board of Elections. We're moving now from talking to walking to the Board of Elections. I need everyone's help to get people out to vote, and we got to do it early. Please call us at 861-6033 if you can help us do that. And we need your help. This election has been like no other in history. We've never had a president like this. We've never had a president say vote twice. This is the president saying this, trying to get people's votes thrown out. We've never had this many people apply for absentee ballots. And we got to make sure they sign it correctly and their signatures got to match. We've never had anything like we got right now. So please don't get confused. If you are confused, call us in advance, 861-6033. And remember, vote early. Vote early. Don't wait and vote late. We got to vote early. So, Nathan, I thank you for what you're doing. And if you could just continue to be able to answer questions what people might have about voting, how to do it, all the process. We don't want our people to get disqualified. They're counting on us to get disqualified, and we're not going to get disqualified. We're going to make sure we fill it out right, we get it in right, and we do it early. So I thank you for that. And I don't want to take up too much more of your time because I'm all over your Sin digital media. But please check out the debate. We talk about the issues, and you'll get to see for yourself why I believe that I know I'm the most qualified. Now we just got to make sure that we deliver on election day.
Mm-hmm. Hey, thanks for it. I appreciate you calling in this morning, and good luck.
Thank you. I appreciate you, Nathan.
Yeah, most definitely. That's Alicia Reese. Wasn't expecting a call, but I appreciate it. The line is always open. And I appreciate the acknowledgement for CDM and what we're building. It's not just me. It's a lot of good folks. I'm 100% on Operation Amplify Black Voices in Cincinnati. That's 100% of my focus. You know what I'm saying? 100%. And as I said before, I appreciate that. I didn't realize she looked at it that way. I haven't spoken with her. But that's what it takes to build anything. Nobody builds anything by themselves, not anything of any worth or value anyway. It takes other people saying, okay, I'm going to try to support. And I appreciate it in as much that it helps to support CDM and Sin Digital Media and our mission to amplify Black voices. We need it. Not to say anything negative about what anybody's doing or anything's existing. I mean, I support everybody. If you support us, I support you. But in these days and times, especially with the rise of digital media and just the significance of the internet, we need that voice here in the city of Cincinnati as well. We need those kind of unfiltered, tearless, fearless voices in the city of Cincinnati as well. And, you know me, the people I rock with, that's how we roll. We're going to give it to you straight with facts now. This ain't about no propaganda. It's about the facts. Not afraid to hold even black folks accountable when necessary, but I appreciate that. That's what it takes. And I'm not sure if she heard my flow earlier. I just reiterated, just looking at it and taking the personalities out from the forum last night, it's clear. It's clear that one of the candidates is just way more qualified, just based upon what she has already done and how she articulated it during the debate. As I said, Mr. Angie Black may have much more of a resume, but he didn't articulate it. Dr. Herman Najurli. I love to respect people in their educational, achievements. Shout out to Black excellence, but Dr. Herman Najurli, he may have a lot more experience that he just didn't articulate last night. So I'm talking about what was articulated last night in last night's forum. Okay, just last night's forum. And it was clear to me. It's clear. It's clear. But you have to make those decisions. I do think it comes down to turnout. I disagree with drop. I mean, are some black voters necessarily like 100% enthusiastic about Joe Biden? Maybe not so. But across the board, non-Republican voters and even some Republican voters are energized to get Trump out. And that's Trump's doing. You know what I'm saying? When you get a leadership position, you get a chance to show what you can do and how you're going to, lead. And then people are going to judge you after that. And if they judge you negatively and it's based upon the facts, that's your fault. That's your fault. Don't blame the media because the media reports on the facts. Blame the person that's generating the media. Simple as that. But it's going to be quite interesting. And then if in fact Alicia Reese is elected a Hamilton County Commissioner, I'm interested in seeing on how she interacts with Denise Treehouse, how she interacts with the existing Hamilton County Commissioners. That's in my mind as well, because that could be a powerful trio to really move the needle in Hamilton County. All Democrats, all females, all women, right? That could be very, very powerful. So we'll see. That's my strong. I told you, I'll give it to you brutally honest. You might say, hey, I could predict that, Nate. Or you might be like, oh, I'm surprised. Whatever the case may be, that's how I look at it. And I stand by that based upon what I saw just last night. Now, you start to do some research and really go back to websites and look at resumes and things like that. It might swing you back and forth, or you might even be even more to one side or the other. But I appreciate that. What do you think? 513-873-7134. Dale writes, did you see Trump get checked by the sisters last night? I did see that. Yeah, he tried to talk over the sister. She's like, oh, I ain't done now. I want to talk about these pre-existing conditions. I'm not done. I mean, we just deserve better. We deserve somebody who's actually going to read up on what's going on as president. We deserve somebody who's going to react to these things with a more compassionate lens and not just about himself. We just deserve better. You know what I'm saying? From the president, got nothing to do with the Democrat Party. We just deserve a better quality of person who's in the White House. We all deserve that. Black people deserve it. White people deserve it. Now, some people making money while Trump's in office. They happy. They making money. Tax breaks. You know what I'm saying? He's saving the babies or whatever the hell your particular issue is. But for me, it's quite clear. Shana writes, morning, we should not be celebrating the Breonna Taylor settlement. Sadly, all the brown people that were supposed to be helping her probably pressured her mother into taking the settlement. Well, for me, the reason why I'm not in particular celebrating it is because it's still a loss of life. And if it was $112 million, it still wouldn't be enough for that sister's life. There is no amount of money that's worth my children, my wife, my family, people I rock with, my friends. There's no amount of money for that. And I just don't understand why these law enforcement departments, why these city officials, like I said, if I was the mayor of a city, if I was the mayor of a city right now, I'll be sitting down with everybody thinking ahead. Like, could this happen here? What if this happened here? What's our no-knock warrant policy right now? Every law enforcement department in the country should be reviewing that. Why would you wait until something bad happens in their tragedy? That's not real leadership. You can be asking your question. The best lessons are the lessons that you observe from other people. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you can learn great lessons from the foibles, the ups and downs of other people. Why don't we do that when it comes to law enforcement? Why aren't they doing that? The city of Cincinnati should not be sitting back thinking, oh, we gotta be collaborative. They should be thinking ahead, like, okay, how can we enhance this? Where are the gaps? How can we do this better? You know what I'm saying? If there's a shooting, an officer-involved shooting in any place in the country, every other city in the country should be reviewing it and asking themselves, what if it happened here? What will be our response? Do we have the right proper police practices? Like, it kills me when you got a mentally ill person, right, who interacts with police and law enforcement and ends up dead. And then the response is, we got to do better with our mental health response. You haven't learned that lessons already? It's 2020. You ain't learned that? Just look at Cincinnati. Just look at these other cities that have dealt with this. Stop waiting until and we do that all the time, sacrificing black bodies. You know what I'm saying? Oh, we learn better now. Now you didn't disrespected the black family or killed somebody. Now you want to learn your lesson using the black body, right? Using us. I ain't with that. That is not leadership, in my opinion. Leadership looks ahead. Leadership asks, what if? Leadership is wondering like, okay, I know we got great people here, but what if the same exact scenario happened in our particular city? What do we have in place to prevent it and to respond to it in a way that we think, will be the best for the public? But no, we see this same ish over and over again. TNT writes, good morning. FG writes, good morning, great people. Hey, Fast Pitch, she writes, good morning. Hey, good to see you. As always. TNT writes, Dr. Najoli prides himself on running his campaign on just $3,000, more with less. TMI. Just keep that to yourself, Dr. Najoli, because if you had stretched that $3,000 out and everybody's like, who is this guy? And there's yard signs everywhere, some creative campaign. And people are like, damn, he's getting major visibility. And then he tells us, well, I've done this with $3,000. We would be impressed. But if people haven't heard from you, if you're relatively unknown and you tell people you got $3,000, it hurts your campaign. It makes it look like either you don't have the support. And it's like, well, he ain't got no support. Why should I support him? Or it shows us, or it tells us, or the implication is that you don't know how to fundraise, which is just, none of that's good for you. Just keep that to yourself. I'm just amazed at the presentation from some of these candidates. Like, I can start a whole new business just doing political consulting, just from a media standpoint, just from what I've observed in just this election, and make the bag with it. Because I just don't understand. I don't understand, how do you step into a political arena and some of these candidates are just woefully unprepared. Just from how to stage and set up, your shot, your camera shot, and just some of the responses. I may give it more thought, man. I know maybe some other folks in that space already. I mean, I hope you made the bag, because there's some politicians out there that need some help. Y'all need some major help on how to present, you know what I'm saying, your campaign here locally. It's just, and then I'm not just talking about Dr. Najoli. I mean, it seems like he seems like a very sweet, kind-hearted man. That's great. I'm talking about some of the other races I've read as well that I've moderated or observed. I'm like, this is how you present yourself? Come on, man. You can do better than that. Christina writes, morning, Nate from New Miami. I think I read that already. Going backwards here. Marcia writes, good morning. Hey, good to see you. Andy messed up on his response regarding commissioners declaring racism in public health, assuming that made everyone racism. Alicia Reese responded, slayed everyone, and using the example of opioid epidemic, took them both to school. I thought that was an interesting point. You're right. I thought that was a very, very good way to turn that. by Alicia Reese. And that's why I said that the question about Black Lives Matter, it's super important. It's one of the best questions that you can ask somebody right now, especially with the way that Black Lives Matter is being politicized. And it opens the door as a little window for us to get insight into these candidates. There's a right way to answer that when you have a black audience, and there's a wrong way to answer that. And I thought that Alicia Reese picked up on it in the way she said, well, you know, we declared opioid crisis as a health crisis. It didn't mean that everybody was doing opioids. Exactly. That's not what it means. But those are the Republican talking points. I've heard this from several, Republican candidates. I don't know who, to Alex, to Bruce, to Andy. I don't know what Alex Triantafilou is doing to prepare you, but he is not doing his job. He is not doing his job if that's your response. I don't know who the Republicans in Hamilton County is working with, but if y'all paying them, y'all paying the wrong person. You really are, because they're setting you up for failure. That might play in some little parts of Hamilton County where they don't know nothing. We don't know nothing. But over here with us, we ain't having it. It don't make any sense. Well, you're trying to say everybody's a racist. This is what you coming up with? That's your response to that question? Declaring racism in Hamilton County a health crisis? Your response is, well, you're trying to say everybody's a racist. Bad response on any planet, on any day, anywhere. Like, where's your campaign manager? Like, who's helping you? Aren't you married? Your wife sending you out here to say that? My wife would never let me go in public with saying something so damn dumb. I'm sorry. That's real love right there. Shout out to Black Love. Come on now. That is a horrible response to that question. And that's the reason why you asked the question. Because you want to see the response. Let me see. TNT writes, hell no, Breonna Taylor's family made a monumental move. Rachel writes, I am too. It's hush money. Where's the conviction of the officers? Well, that was civil. That has nothing to do with the criminal, perhaps the criminal case that might come. We'll see. We'll see. TNT writes, this is the civil portion. Benjamin Crump is a civil lawyer. Yes, he is. TNT writes, this is not over. The district attorney in Kentucky has to place an indictment to the grand jury. Ballhead writes, good morning, brother. Hey, good morning to you. Greg writes, good morning, Grand Risings. Ken Wu writes, they got the go away money and the cops will not be charged. They did get a little bit of a settlement. And again, that's a little bit of a settlement. $12 million is nothing compared. It's not worth my daughter's life. Medium Buddha, there is no amount of money in the world worth her life to me and her mother. So, you know what I'm saying? That's the civil lawsuits. I think it should be higher. I think it should be at least 3 figures, 100 mil. Why? Because when you start having settlements that cripple the city, like, damn, what are we going to do now? We got to rethink trash collection because we pay so much out because of the bad actions of officers. Then it starts to make an impact, in my opinion. But that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. As I understand it, that $12 million is significant in terms of civil wrongful death payouts in these kind of scenarios. Typically, I see single digits. That's just me. I don't see double digits a whole lot. Could just be me. You tell me. The Black America Party writes, it is time for the Black American Party. Okay, I'll check that out. I got a link here and everything. I appreciate it. Listen, you right, brother, sisters. I'm with you. I'm with you 100%. Let's do it. Jeannie writes, good morning, Nathan and the Choppers. Good morning to you. Ken writes, the settlement money usually comes after a conviction. This was not as innocent as the MSM painted. Nat writes, the white lady's family who was killed in Minneapolis got $20 million. Did they? Damn. Fame writes, is Brian the Black Lives Matter guy in here? I'm not sure what Brian that is. C. Smith writes, good morning, all. Good to see you. TNT writes, she playing politics. Is it even legal to make policy to permanently fund any department when the economy can fluctuate? Every department may need to be cut in a global pandemic. That's just stupid policy based upon politics. Yeah, you talking about Sunderman? Yeah. Bessie Sunderman, yeah, she playing politics. While people are dying, Bessie Sunderman is running around playing politics. And it's going to take me to bring her on the show, if she decides to come on the show, to confront her and hold her accountable about it, because nobody else is. No one else is. They might be thinking, damn, I'm running to go do it because Nate just said it, but no one else is going to do that in the city of Cincinnati. They're not going to do that down the dial. They wouldn't even think about doing it. They probably love the idea. Who else is going to do it? It's got to be your boy, Nate Ivey. Fearless and tearless. Because I'm pissed. When I read that op-ed, I'm still pissed about it. People dying in the streets, and you want to play politics with a Cincinnati Inquirer op-ed, trying to prop yourself up as the law and order Cincinnati City Council candidate. She can't get my vote. She can't get my vote. Just as of right now, she can't get my vote. Maybe things will change. People grow. But right now, Bessie Sunderman, can't feel it. Brian Taylor writes, I'm not Black Lives Matter. I was Mass Action for Black Liberation. I explain all the time the betrayal of the National Black Lives Matter organization. Yes, he does. He's very clear about that. Adele writes, what is the percentage of black folks in the city of Cincinnati? I think it's north of 40, I believe. C. Smith writes, no amount of money will bring that mother's daughter back. Not about money. I agree with you. Dale writes, how is she being sexualized? Right. C. Smith writes, grow the up, fame. This guy is reaching. I thought he was I thought that what he was saying in describing Kamala Harris went further to sexualize her than the image I saw of this. I mean, you know, if you think that Kamala is an attractive woman, cool, she attractive. If you think she's got a nice body, cool, she got a nice body. But that in and of itself isn't necessarily overtly sexual to me. You know what I'm saying? I guess call me lame, I guess. I don't see it. They're going hard. Ken writes, she got to look hip. Dale writes, he's a misogynist. Nate, game, STFU. Renee writes, wow. TNT writes, I'm sorry, fame, not drop LOL. The wolf mind is in the gutter right now, right? Shana writes, nothing wrong with what she's got on. She looks great for almost 60. I think so. I guess she's supposed to dress like Hillary Clinton in a pantsuit. Dante writes, dude, you sound stupid as hell. She's gorgeous. Ken writes, Ben is all about the money. Probably within the settlement is a hush clause. The cops will not be charged in this case. That 39-page document is very telling. She was not innocent. Ballhead writes, he makes no sense. Nat says, who was not innocent? Meaning Breonna Taylor? Greg writes, I think the caller might be overly projecting. Kamala might have tried to present herself as one of the regular people, if you know what I mean. Hillary Clinton came off as somewhat arrogant. I just think that even elected officials don't wear suits all the time. Sometimes they dress casual. I don't know where she was going. Was she going to visit the California wildfires, which, by the way, many of the forest land is in federally protected lands, which means it's under purview of the government. Oh, by the way, Trump came into California and didn't drop any policy or drop any more dollars whatsoever, because Trump tries to, like, if it's a Republican state, like a state where, you know, they voted for Trump and or they got Republican leadership, then he'll do more for states that either didn't vote for him in 2016 or he projects won't vote for him in 2020 and have Democrat leadership. What kind of president does that? Can you imagine if Obama was doling out federal dollars and attention based upon partisanship? The Republicans would have tried to eat him alive. Lisa writes, sexualized, we don't see it either, Nate. I didn't see it. I think he was reaching, man. Brian writes, they tripping on her flight wardrobe? LOL. We worried about the same wrong damn things. Greg writes, good morning, choppers, good folks, and the rest. Toy writes, so no one should really be surprised by Sunderman's action. Bay Miller and Livingston is 4 minutes from the FCC stadium. That's why they wanted to clean it up. I grew up in OTR, a little further north from this area. The motion calls for diverting traffic, cameras, cleaning up litter, and citing owners for vacant buildings. We couldn't cite those owners before now. There's a deeper plan involved. Is that what you're saying? Okay. Pardon me. Hold on one second. Okay. So there's a deeper plan involved. Okay. I got a good mind. Oh, I don't have the time. It's 9:39. Damn, the time went so fast. Damn. I got to roll out of here, family. I'll be back with you tomorrow morning. I'm not leaving right now. I'm going to read more comments. And then you can stay because I'll give a few more minutes once we end the show just to make sure we get more comments in, okay? So there'll be music playing in the background. If you want to read the comments, I might jump in with a comment here or there. Then enjoy it. Enjoy it. Let me see here. Jail tapes and pictures don't lie. Go read and listen to it. C. Smith writes, Nathan, that 7:30 a.m. is kicking my tail. Months of working from home has changed my sleeping patterns. I'm still rocking with you, though. Late, but here. Appreciate it. I do. I'm going to put a poll out. I'm not sure if I can do it on my personal page. I may do it in the friends page and then circulate it just to see what's a good time. Because I'm thinking I want to start going earlier with the show just to capture more of the audience. I'm up anyway. You know, I'm an early riser these days. And I know there's a lot of people who are going to work and or you're getting your kids and getting them ready to go on virtual learning. And I want to give you some time with the show. So that's the reason behind it. TNT, right? C. Smith writes, TNT, that was an awesome forum last night. Admittedly, I was going to vote Reese for the culture, but she is truly the most qualified and competent. Thanks again, NAACP and Prince Hall Masons. Again, I'm not getting paid to say this. This ain't no endorsement. I'm just telling you from what I observed last night, there's a clear distinction between the three candidates. Many of them. Most notably is resume and experience in doing the type of things that we would expect a Hamilton County commissioner to do. It's not even, I don't think that Robert Najoli would disagree with that. And if Andy Black was being honest, I don't think he would disagree with that. And like I said, there was a couple times last night where he ended up sort of backhandedly and didn't mean to complimenting Alicia Reese, right? For things that have been put in place that she actually had a hand in putting in place. What's that tell you? What's that tell you? So we'll have to make a smart decision, family. That's what it'll come down to, a smart decision. Let me see here. Janice writes, good morning, Nathan and Choppers. Good morning to you. Where are we this morning? Alicia Reese knocked it out the box last night. That's from Janice. Jane's in the house. She writes, good morning. She's on YouTube. Brian writes, here we go. Cleveland, this is for you, LOL. And you don't have feelings when it comes to sports. Well, I don't. I just want to thumb my nose. I mean, again, it's just fun to me. I mean, if LeBron didn't make it, I'm going to probably still enjoy, probably on tape delay, the NBA Finals. That's just where I'm at with it right now. But I want to thumb my nose and say aha to all the people that was all riding the Clippers bandwagon like Kawhi Leonard was the new tough guy in town. He's the new sheriff in town. Where you at now? I watched just a little bit of sports media like ESPN. They got a couple of shows. Skip Bayless walking it back. Chris Broussard walking it back. I'm not with the Clippers no more. Integrity means nothing anymore. Shout out to the sports analyst that chose a team and you ride with your team even to the end. That's what you're supposed to do. But all these folks running around trying to change and make excuses. Oh, well, come on now. Stick with the king. You know what I'm saying? The man that was born under these skies in Ohio. You know what I'm saying? LBJ. Brian, stick with the king. You know what I'm saying? Where the Golden State Warriors at right now? Oh, that's right. They're not in the playoffs. It is what it is. I'm just having some fun with you. Let me see here. Lakers can be next. Don't get too high, Nate. You absolutely can be next. Absolutely. Man, that whole bubble experience is different. You don't have home field advantage. So here you work all year long to get home field advantage, meaning you get more home games in the playoffs than your opponent, and you don't have that. And then it's just an unusual mix, right? So I'm not surprised to see that Miami's in the finals. I'm not surprised to see that Denver's there. I would not have been surprised to see the Lakers have lost. I was anticipating that one of the highly favored teams was going to lose. So I'm not surprised. I blame Doc Rivers. You're the coach. Make it happen, Captain. This is the third time that he's had a 3-1 lead in the playoffs and blew it. The third time. Orlando, Clippers, like early iteration of the Clippers, back when he had CP3 and Blake Griffin. And now, you know, what happened with the Clippers now. So I blame him. Valir Phoenix 101 writes, hi. What's up, Valir? Good morning to you. Good to see everybody. Aaron writes, Creepy Joe. I mean, people say Creepy Joe, but Trump's around here talking about how he would have dated his own daughter. You don't get much more creepier than that. What kind of man says something like that? None at all. That's not a real man. What I look like, I won't even ask that question as it relates to my child. I can't even ask that question. I mean, I can't even posit that. You know what I'm saying? It ain't even possible. This guy's running around on tape talking about how his daughter's sexy and she's cute and voluptuous. I'm like, wait a minute. I don't see my child like that. I don't see no kids like that. The hell? You mean creepy Trump? Let me see. Fame writes, talk that ish, Drop. C. Smith writes, get his ass, Nate. What was Drop talking about this morning? That brother, I hear you, brother, but no. Another stupid Trump supporter who can't answer a question. He was dodging questions like something. Hey, what's up, Jasmine? Good to see you. She writes, he gets up this early in the morning on the West Coast to call in and speak the most nonsense. Good to see you, Jasmine. You know what I'm saying? 40 under 40. I see you out there doing big things. Beautiful. We need to check their manhood. Speaking of manhood, I want to talk a little bit about, before I leave. So maybe I will stay to 10 a.m. this morning. And then I got to relieve the duties of my wife so she can do what she got to do. And then I can be with my son for virtual learning during the day. I posted something about virtual learning on my Facebook page. It's hilarious, man. These funny videos and photographs of how young people and people in general, students, are reacting to virtual learning. My son be this close to just losing it every day. Especially about 2, that last couple of class, he is done. He is done. He's like playing with toys and he's dancing around. He is delirious, literally. He is delirious. And I mean, it's something different for his little body because he was in daycare, right, previous to this, where he's taking a nap every day. And now he's not taking a nap in the middle of the day, right? He's got to stay up and not just stay up, but be alert and answer questions and think. He's dancing along, he's learning different languages. You know what I'm saying? It is tough on these. It's tough, but hilarious. Every day they say something crazy or funny. A couple things before we roll. First, let's talk about Jeff Pastor a little bit. What's up with Jeff Pastor? Anybody know? Looks like something serious is going on with him and his family, and I wish him and his family the best. I hope it's nothing that, is too bad. Let me put that on the screen right there. Hopefully it's nothing too bad. You see that? Hold on. Let me see if I can pull that up. Yeah, there it is. Cincinnati City Councilman Jeff Pastor says family has experienced a traumatic experience. Requests privacy. Now, apparently, he's missed some city council meetings, and now people are questioning, like, what's going on? And he's asking for privacy and declining, to talk about it, which I respect, he's a family man. Quote, my job as a husband and father is the most important job of my life. The honor and privilege of serving the citizens of Cincinnati as a city council member is a heavy responsibility that I take seriously, blah, blah, blah. I appreciate the grace and understanding, da, 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 da. Now, city council has returned from summer break back on September the 3rd, right? Pastor has missed 3 of 6 meetings he was supposed to attend, including the Neighborhoods Committee, which he is the chairman of. And again, that's not necessarily that unusual as what's being written here in the Cincinnati Inquirer, but what the hell is going on? What's up with Pastor? Anybody know? You don't have to share if you don't want to, but that's quite interesting. I don't know, man. I hope that I wish that brother the best. It just seems like when he's in the media, it's just always some not so good stuff. Either he's writing some letter about being polyamorous as if we give a damn. And damn, I talked to Lincoln yesterday, but I forgot to ask him because somebody told me that a woman called into Lincoln's show maybe a couple weeks ago. I'm mad at y'all for not telling me and like put him on Front Street. Apparently she was like a little side piece or something, like a girlfriend. Is that true? I didn't hear it, but you know about that drama. I want to hear it. So I'll get the scoop from Lincoln myself. Last night was about business, so I didn't really have time to talk about less frivolous things or frivolous things. But that's quite interesting. I hope the brother's well. I do. Or he was in the media crying. Maybe he was downtown crying because people was looting or whatever. There was whatever was happening with the social unrest in the city of Cincinnati in the wake of the George Floyd murder. Remember this? And there was the image of him. He got like 4 or 5 million hits off of that. Of him, why y'all down here with your kids? And now you want to cry? The hell? David writes, deflect, deny, distract equals drop. Well, he's not distracting us from anything. He can deflect and deny all day, but his phone call doesn't distract me. It don't distract us. We are 100% about what time it is. Deanna writes, that's right, Nathan Ivey. Hey, what's up, Deanna? Good to see you. Good to see you as always. David writes, I turned my factory-grade fan blowing that nonsense back to slop turd. Right. Jeannie writes, Satan is the president. I don't know. Again, I think he asked a question about how do I feel about being black in the age of Trump? I feel even better. Trump ain't stopping me from Trump don't have no impact on my self-esteem, and no other person in this world has an impact on my self-esteem other than me. You know, no person. I love the texture of my hair and I can rock it anywhere. I said, I love being black. I know that's right. Pat writes, I see now, Trop don't like being black. I don't know if that's true. Sister V writes, I live on the west side. I see more trucks now riding with those Trump flags and blue live flags. More since Saturday. Trump has emboldened these people to feel very powerful. This is what happened during his 3 years of him being in office, right? Because Trump, he doesn't at the very least, he makes them feel good about their racism. At the very least, he doesn't try to make them feel bad about it, and they appreciate it. You know, Trump has adopted a stand down attitude, deny attitude when it comes to racial oppression. Remember when he was talking with the reporter and she asked him straight up, like, so how do you explain, why black people are still being killed by police officers? This man said, so are white people. So are white people, he said. What? Clearly, the man is clueless. Remember when you're going back to Charlestown? He says there's a lot of good people out there, too, among the Nazis and the white supremacists. A lot of good people on both sides. Wait a minute. One side is white supremacists and Nazis. Those are good people? There's a lot of good people over there. So, you get what you get with Donald Trump. It is what it is. Let me flash forward here. Good morning, everybody. Appreciate you. Ballhead writes, take back the vote. Don't forget to remind us again, man, about the event, Ballhead. I know you came on a little while ago, but we need to be reminded. What did y'all glean from the Jolie's answer about Black Lives Matter? I can't remember, honestly, his answer about Black Lives Matter. Maybe I'll go back and do a show where I just get all of the audio, maybe some of the video, and sit down and walk through it all again. That might be interesting. Yeah, Pamela writes, I'm still waiting on the answer. Maybe that's why I don't remember, because there wasn't an answers. C. Smith writes, Flossie's story shed light on the issues with job and family services. I was glad for that. Yeah, I thought it was a very interesting touch that added to the texture of the conversation in a different way than just a straight Q&A. We have to support our homegrown public servants. Let's not allow what happened with Yvette Simpson to happen again. Yeah, everybody's running around talking about Yvette Simpson was bad for Cincinnati because she was anti-business. That was just politics. I tried to tell people. We knew, the choppers knew. And y'all voted for a man that lied to us about lifting kids out of poverty. I'll say it again. What will be John Cranley's major list? What will be his list of accomplishments once he leaves office? I guarantee you the number one thing he's going to say is FC Cincinnati. That was going to happen no matter who was the mayor. The FC Cincinnati deal was going to happen no matter what. I knew that from the beginning. We knew that. The only issue, the only question with FC Cincinnati was how much was the neighborhood going to get? What was the makeup of the deal? The deal was going to go through just based upon, the people that were involved. You know what I'm saying? They wield a lot of influence here in Cincinnati, Hamilton County, and the state of Ohio. I'm just saying. I mean, just think about it. We had Cincinnati school board members when I asked them last year, like, well, let's go back to this vote. And essentially, they was on some, we just had to do it because it was going to happen anyway. I mean, that's what I was straight up told by a sitting member, several of them, school board members. And I'm thinking, well, if all you do is rubber stamp, why do we need you? I was straight up told that by a member of the school board who said, well, listen, if we didn't vote for it, it was going to happen anyway. And city council was going to come in and use eminent domain or something else. And I was thinking to myself, then let them do it. And then let those council persons deal with the political price. But it sounds like deals were made behind closed doors. That's what it sounds like. Speaking of which, I want to catch up with Mike Morosky next week. I'll reach out to him and see if he'll come back on and give us an update on where CPS is with the anti-racism policy. Okay, I 100% think we need it, and I want to have as much information as possible about it, so that whatever policy they craft actually matters. And if you're doing an anti-racism policy, I'm hoping that it has heavy, heavy, heavy parent participation, and not just the parents that are sort of like wallflowers and whatever you like, whatever you say, those kind of parents, but the parents who have real life experiences, the parents who are not afraid to let their voice be heard. Because there's a lot of parents, like you hear me talking about Walnut Hills and talking about CPS. There's a lot of parents that won't even do that in private. I'm doing it publicly. There's a lot of parents scared out of their mind. I don't understand it personally. Scared out of their mind. How do I know? I've talked to them. It's like a damn Gestapo. It's a school board. Good morning, Kendall. Good to see you. Let me see here. David writes, I still don't know how they will be able to convict the officers in the house. We'll find out. We'll find out together. Hey, Dwayne writes, not only did the Minnesota Caucasian woman's family get $20 million, the black officer is in prison. He's right about that. He is. Cleopatra writes, rise and shine, everyone. Good to see you. Michelle Obama dressed comfortably most of the time. You know how it is with black women in leadership. They just want to criticize you for any old thing. They don't do that with white women in leadership. Michelle Obama got criticized because she led a campaign to try to get American kids to drink water. And I know for a fact from working in youth development that there are segments of our population where that's a real issue, where the parents let their kids drink Gatorade every day like it's water. It's not water. You don't. You know what I'm saying? It's a damn shame. What else here? Cardi B and Offset. Looks like the marriage is going to be off. Cardi B has asked for a divorce. She wants custody of culture. Yeah, that's sad right there, man. Black love. And apparently, Offset has some issues with infidelity. I did a show maybe like a year and a half ago titled Asking Offset to Be Faithful is like asking Donald Trump to be truthful. It just ain't going to happen. While the bank account may not necessarily reflect it because the Migos got a horrible deal, they're getting fleeced and finessed by their record company. They are one of the biggest hip hop acts in the world right now, Migos. They got super hits. I don't listen to terrestrial radio for music. I listen to the music I want to when I want to. So I don't really listen to terrestrial radio for music, but something tells me the Migos probably got a song or two that's still circulating, along with Cardi B. Mainstream media, mainstream radio loves Cardi B and they love the Migos. But now she's asking for divorce. They got a 2-year-old daughter. And, I'm going to say something. I'm going to give you some advice out here to any people that might be young in the game. And this is my advice. When you get married, you should not have kids for at least 5 years. When you get married, you should not have kids for at least 5 years. Okay? Because they say 7-year itch, but times have changed, man. It's more like the 3-year itch. You know what I'm saying? It's more like the 4 or 5-year itch. And it's just it is what it is. But, I hate it when I see these kids brought into these now broken up relationships because the parents are just selfish. They want to have everything whenever they want it, how they want it. And they don't really think about the impact of bringing kids into a situation. And now the kids are in a broken home. They both collectively might have millions of dollars, but culture is going to be brought up in a blended home now. If in fact, divorce goes through, we'll find out. 2 years old. And, people do this all the time. They run and get married, then they run and start want to have popping babies. My wife and I waited 5 years before we had a child. I'm glad we did. Because we got a chance to spend 5 years, just the two of us, just learning each other, hanging out, just being adults. When you bring kids into a situation, it's not about you anymore. Depending on your financial situation, because, people can say what they want to say about money not bringing you happiness, but money can buy you time. And time is the most precious commodity in the world. So in as much as time can make you happy, and having time to do what you want to do makes you happy, money can buy happiness. When people say, money don't buy happiness, they are lying. Yes, the hell they do. Because when you got money, you can pay somebody to do the day-to-day things that may take up an hour of your day, 2 hours of your day. You can pay them to do it and then go do all the stuff you want to do, which makes you happy. So how does money not make you happy? I hear this all the time. Money don't make you happy. Yes, it does, because money can buy you time. The time you spend in cleaning your house, you can pay somebody to do that. Frees up more time for you to go lay on the couch or exercise or eat Haagen-Dazs or whatever the hell you want to do. Same thing with your kids. You can pay somebody to take care of your kids, to lift that heavy lifting for you when they're really, really young. And you can spend that time doing what you want to do if you're inclined to do so. I'm just telling you. Stop with that nonsense. Keep it real. We all adults here. She wants Offset to pay child support. We'll see what happens. And then I see all this stuff about men cheating. Why do men cheat? Men cheat. Some men cheat because, as Chris Rock said it, he was 100% on. A lot of men are only as faithful as their options. When you got more options, you're going to be less faithful. Simple as that. If you are a member of the Migos and you're Offset, he got a whole lot of options. He got global options. He got global options out there. There's no telling what kind of women is trying to get in his DMs. You got a whole thought community that would look at it like a badge of honor to say they bagged him. I'm just telling you. Simple as that. And monogamy is not for everybody. It ain't for everybody. I ain't surprised to see this. I wouldn't be surprised if he get divorced. I wouldn't be surprised if it's because of his infidelity, because he's Offset in the Migos. Have you seen the music videos? Why would you stop trying to make people be something that they're not? You know what I'm saying? Some of these women, man, y'all get with dudes, and when you get with him, he willing and dealing with a lot of women. Now you want to try to lock him down. Why? That's not what he's for. He is just for fun. Just have fun with him like the other chicks and move on. You're trying to nail down the wrong person. Same thing with dudes. You don't try to lock down a woman that don't want to be locked down. All you're going to do is set yourself up for a whole lot of pain and anguish, because you cannot stop a grown person from doing what they want to do. And miss me with all that love stuff and love and commitment. That's cool when you get older. Every man is different. But you're Offset. What is Offset in his 20s? You Offset in the Migos. Why would you expect him to be to be monogamous and faithful? It's just you setting up unrealistic expectations that leads to problems down the road. Let him be what he is. You know what I'm saying? What's the set? We do these sayings about women, but not about men. Like you can't turn a hoe into a housewife, and you can't tell turn a man who's a hoe into a husband. It just don't work. Don't even try. Just enjoy them for what they have and move the hell on. That's it. That's it. Everybody want to hook up and fall in love. I mean, I get you. I mean, yeah, I'm in love. I'm married. Okay. I get you. I understand, but that ain't for everybody. Everybody don't get it. And every person you meet that's not where it's going to lead to. Some people is just cool for Netflix and chill. Can I get an amen on that? That's what they good for. That's the best they can bring to you. That's the best they got to offer. It is what it is. Stop trying to, if they just did this, I can make them into this. Nah. Just enjoy them where they are for what they have, and that's it. And just move on. Invest that time and energy in yourself. That's my little soapbox. Take it or leave it. Pamela writes, Pastor lives in my neighborhood. I saw the neighborhood Facebook page. His wife is expecting a baby. She might have had a miscarriage. I think she had one before. Oh, man, that's terrible. Yeah, I think that did happen before. We know way too much about their family business. I blame Jeff Pastor. You know what I'm saying? I blame Jeff Pastor. What's up, Derek Bauman? He writes, good morning, everyone. Hey, good to see you, Derek. Famous in here doing some ish, getting mad because people hold him accountable. What's up, Aaron? Good morning to you. Hey, listen, I got to make a move, family. I wish I could sit here all day and talk with you, but I got to make a move. I'll let you get on with the rest of your day. All right. Have an excellent rest of your day, family. I'll be back with you, hopefully better than ever tomorrow morning at 7:30 a.m. All right. All right. I'm Nathan Ivey. Right. Pardon me. Nathan Ivey with you. Remember our motto, winners focus on winning. Losers focus on winners. So stay focused, stay winning, and we'll talk real soon, family. All right? Got to make a move. Have a happy rest of your Wednesday. You know what I'm saying? As somebody said, go out and do something great, and we'll pick up the conversation tomorrow morning. Please like and share today's show. If you like the content, please like and share today's show. It means everything. And please subscribe on YouTube, Nathan Ivey EY. All right? We'll talk. I'm out.